All right, hello, hello, and welcome back to our Let's Play as England. I had to spend a few minutes figuring out where everything was and where we're sitting right now, and I was looking at France really quickly and kind of noticed they're still making a lot more money than us because of the ongoing schism. 76 income per month just from the church tithe from the schism. I can't wait for the schism to end, hopefully in England's defeat then. But yeah, the papacy's already held one, and it looks like they're just barely ahead, so... Actually, we have a lot of religious actions. I wasn't going to request a cardinal seat, but I've changed my mind. We'll actually get one in London and just back the Pope. Try to get the schism to end as soon as possible, just so France loses another 78 ducats. It'll make it easier for us to keep our war going. I also went over our advances for a bit, and we're going to change things up. We're going to let bureaucracy finish, but then we're going to grab the university for education of the elites, not for the university itself. And then I kind of want the chancery as well. We haven't even built the first level just because that does give you cabinet efficiency in the capital. So we'll probably grab these two and then actually go ahead and finish up our research for the max literacy. Yep, cardinalcy for England. That was easy. We are making about 70-ish ducats, closer to 69 ducats. Buildings are most expensive, followed by cost of court. So what I'm thinking here is our next war with England or France we can't do until 1399. So we're probably going to build up our forces, and I think this is going to be the war where we actually seize Paris itself. I don't think there's an event tied to taking Paris itself, but I just kind of want to do it for the sake of actually doing it. And how many ships are these at transports? We have 44 cogs. We need to build an actual navy. I think we were building up more docks in northern France to kind of prepare for that. But we actually need to just get more of them, is what I'm thinking. I know we could probably invest the money into building up the economy, but I'm also aware that a part of our economy is literally just very, very poor in the sense of the goods are too cheap. It barely makes a profit. So we just need to have more export potential. We're also going over our capacity limit for our culture, thanks to the increasing number of French-related cultures that are now in the country. English is still 52% though, so I'm not too worried. Things like Northumbrian. Sorry, I'm trying to think out loud here. We just have to eventually convert some of these areas to English. And while I do like centralized bureaucracy, the road building time, the prosperity is just too good. Because if anyone recalls, prosperity is more monthly development, which takes a long time, more pop growth, which means more pops to do everything with. Of course, yes, this does make us more decentralized, but we're actually kind of aiming to stay decentralized because of all the subjects we're going to be creating. Because I think a lot of the subjects in France are probably going to stay on our side, or we're probably going to keep them as French. Yet to vote. Well, we'll give our singular vote to Rome there. That way they're at least, oh, and ruler's dead. I was gonna say that way they're at least slowly gaining in strength. Kiev? No, that's like way too much. The House of Hesse is not a bad choice. And of course we have lost our crown cabinet member, so we're going to appoint a new crown cabinet member and make him, of course, head of the cabinet. That's why we're just using them to get to capital economy as well, because we're trying to lower the building cost here. That way it's cheaper to build more buildings at once to offset the fact that we're constantly going to war here. And while we do need to get more naval presence to make our control map better in a lot of areas, I kind of need to annex this area at some point. We're going to just focus on keeping the English Channel under our control and keeping the Navy afloat. That way, every time we go to war against France, they're not just sending out ships and sinking us. They actually looking at this, France does not have a navy. They just have transports. They don't actually have a navy to fight us, which I think is fantastic. Okay, I don't really want to appoint. See, I don't want to appoint the king. Actually, do we care whether we're going naval or land? I usually do land because bigger RGO size is nice. But I feel like in our situation as England, we probably want more navy, especially if we're going to directly control the colonies. So, you know what? Actually, yeah. The king can run the navy himself. Why not? What could go wrong? And our general is also a member of the crown, so that should put us over 25 here. Despite the English parliament. Yeah, 27.77. Of course, I feel like the real issue that we're worried about is Castile as a rival. They don't have that many ships yet. And thanks to that war we held with Aragon, they didn't get as strong as they could have. I'm going to choose the Pope, of course. But we'll see where that goes, because we could have quite the flip on our heads later. Why are we making so much gold suddenly? Oh, cost of court went back down, that's why. I was going to say, there's no way our economy suddenly got better, right? I am very doubtful of that. Issue a formal complaint to France. Of course, any opportunity to complain to the French about their behavior is an opportunity worth taking. So we're probably going to engage in more development projects as well, of building up towns. I need to get... Lumber's expensive, glass is kind of expensive. Do we have any lumber or geos? I think we have a few. Say any of these that we have, we definitely want to build them up. I think we've already built a lot of them up to be about halfway. That one's all the way in Scotland, so that's not really going to help. But, like, Ross here at least is... Oh, it's all the way over here in Dublin. You know what? It's fine. We're just going to get more towns and by extension more cities. That gets us more control. We can get more of the good buildings in them too. Yes, it means the RGOs get smaller, but it's okay. It's not like there's going to be a massive freeze later on. And with education of the elite, generally education of the people is what a lot of folks like to do because it helps the peasants and laborers gain literacy, and you usually don't get a lot of max literacy bonuses for them in particular. I'd say open institutions isn't bad as well, because institution growth means you get those institutions faster. But the higher average max literacy means faster research. And it makes you more innovative, which is good. More innovative is what we want. Wow, is it already almost 1400? It's almost time for war against England, France. I keep saying England like I'm about to just declare war on myself. Which, really, you shouldn't be declaring war on yourself. Don't do that. The Hobblars. Oh, yours. Agile Irish Hobby Course. Oh, I did not know we had these guys. They actually have higher combat speed. Eh. Cool. I am going to buy more infantry. So now we have 3,300 men-at-arms. The 32nd English Army. Don't ask what happened to all the ones before them. Apparently something happened. And you're not going to want to know. Support the state is kind of nice, because that does make the king... What is he, 40? He's a sinner. How do you have 84, 75, and 95 in your stats, and you end up with sinner minus 2 tolerance to the true faith? Am I just... Is the game trying to, like, project onto me? What's going on here? I don't like this. Do we just take one? Do we just take noble? Just make the nobles happier? Kill the insurgency temporarily? Wat Tyler's rebellion we have to put down at some point too. Gathering resources. I mean, this would be what? This would kind of be a free expansion to 4 areas. Now let's make the nobles happier. That also makes it easy to pass any. I don't think there's any law changes we want to do. We did a lot of law changes early on to begin with. We could technically move away from the English Parliament, but I actually like the 0.05 monthly legitimacy it gives, and the extra 10 max tax is pretty good. You get to have a lot more tax. And then the Knights Companion is not bad. 20% cabinet efficiency is really good, even though it gives the nobles more power. You've got a lot of other decent-ish options here, too. Like, the Holy Brotherhood gives you institution growth and makes the clergy happy. And our clergy really do need a lot more satisfaction. They've got a lot of things upsetting them. A court language being a foreign language is not good, but, well, that's the whole mess with France right now. But what I would like to actually do is probably just procure a core claim. That's going to cost some time. We might not use Parliament for anything in particular. France is actually in a war right now. Do we have a CB yet? We do. Ooh, wow, yeah, like, we could just go in right now. Who are they at war with in full? Is it one-sided? This is not one-sided. They're at war with the Pope, Bohemia. So ooh, we have France in a bad spot then. Do I want larger levies? We can already raise 68,000. We don't want to raise too many levies, actually, because too many levies could be an issue for no apparent reason. In that case, is there a law to change? I don't think so. I know we're on court of culture instead of itinerant court. We could... I mean, we have very little silver. We could ban its export, but I don't see the point in doing that. An unlimited export. I feel like the 1% trade efficiency is best here, yeah. Oh, you know what? We do have access to devout education. Makes us more traditionalist, less spiritualist. It's 5 clergy estate satisfaction. Yeah. Take that one. It's going to be a bit before that comes into effect, but that's good enough. Let's kind of raise the maintenance here before we actually go to war. There's no reason to upset the burghers. Give it all a moment to kind of just pick back up. Okay. And then off to war we go to beat up France once again. I wanted to say for the final time, but I can't guarantee this will be the final time because, honestly, it could be a while before we're actually at our final war with England. So we shouldn't need too many soldiers this time, so we're actually only going to raise just kind of the core English levy and kind of let the rest of the area stay calm. I am going to raise all of our fishing ships, though. And that's because it'll make it a lot easier to conduct mass transportation of the army if we actually have plenty of ships to transport it with. Especially because, as we previously mentioned not long ago, we identified that the French do not have a navy at this point. So, we should only take, what, 2 trips now? Yeah, it'll only take 2 trips. It's... Whatever small ships they bring out are just not enough. Oh. Why are you're docked? Okay, you're docked, so why are they not coming out? Okay, there we go. I don't know why I have that issue sometimes where you dock in some spots and they don't leave the ship, and in other places they do. Maybe I don't think it has to be a town or anything. I think it might just be a... Yeah, see, like, they don't automatically disembark here, but if I move them over here, they disembark. No idea why. Could not tell you why. And of course, our lovely subjects are coming to help us, because why wouldn't they? Despite the ongoing instabilities that may or may not be occurring. Our lovely vassals have been defeated in battle. We do love our vassals. Just blockade the strait there. I actually don't need these 8 ships. We can just disband them. We'll say I do love the horses in this game. Speaking of, we do want more I really need to get libraries going in some of the areas that don't have them yet. Especially the newly conquered French territories. Just to get more demand for more books. So the scriptorums and then later the other methods of book construction start to see higher demand. We also have universities we can build now, but that's going to be a little later down the line. I haven't started the Let's Play at the moment for the Victoria 3 run with Russia, but I've been kind of doing quiet research with it for a while because I can tell it's going to be an absolute nightmare to go through. Since they made serfdom even worse in Victoria 3 than it already was. I kind of understand why they did it. Because people were using minoralism, which is a form of serfdom from Austria, to just kind of do really wacky stuff. But I don't know if serfdom needed to be nerfed even harder than it had already been nerfed. Like, it was already an awful law, tied for traditionalism. Now it might actually be even worse than traditionalism, which is saying something. Oh. Just a oh, that's the Chancery. Never mind, I mistook that for a university. Maybe it's time we built a university. But hey, we're finally in the 1400s. It just took us way too long. Once we have greater trade range, maybe the London market will be able to reach kind of Constantinople. I doubt it, but that would be good. Oh, just the full-on stack wipes are the best. When you're doing it to the enemy, not the other way around. When it's your army getting stack wiped, it's a nightmare. Okay, and that French vassal's basically fully occupied now. I know we're technically not winning right now because they still control Paris. Or, sorry, they control the area adjacent to Paris. We'll target that next before we take Paris itself. Kind of surround the area. Let's build a couple of tool guilds, just not too many. I don't want to crash the price completely here. Same with the gunsmiths. I want to get a couple of additional gunsmiths going because obviously we're only going to build a larger standing army as time goes on. But we don't want to build too many to where the price crashes and then I'm having to supplement it instead of the other way around. By the way, I just need to check something really quickly here. So it says I'm not subsidizing masonry. I could have sworn we were subsidizing it. But if we switch it to the London market, is this because I just didn't do it everywhere? Okay, yeah. So I just subsidized the masonry in only the London market. I was wondering that because I had noticed this before in past games, but it's just because I was switching between markets that had it and markets that didn't. Because I'd only done it for certain areas. You know, that makes sense that you could get 50% industrialist clout despite having certain. I can actually see that, and I can see why. That doesn't surprise me too much for Victoria 3. I'd be more surprised if you couldn't, actually, especially with all the new political favor stuff you can attach to the laws. Which, by the way, some of the laws in Victoria 3 just have really, really silly additions you can do with them now that I very much enjoy. Yes, they did reach Constantinople. They actually reached Egypt, too, because the range by sea is a lot better than by land. Which is why, as Russia, we struggled to just get to a lot of markets early on. But since London is literally on the coast, it's a lot easier. Yes, 5 research. I will never not take that. By the way, I need to just go spy on the Pope. No apparent reason, of course. Nothing nefarious, I assure you. Oh, yeah, measles. We should probably get research to make disease less threatening later down the line, shouldn't we? Yeah. Oh, you know what? London doesn't even have a university. We should fix that. And Paris has fallen to our occupation. That point... So the earldom is out. Okay, that's fine. I don't care too much about the earldom. We're technically losing when it comes to battles, but that's just because a lot of battles are being fought in the south by our subjects, and the subjects are losing. Which is fine, because we've already occupied Paris itself and several areas around Paris. So it's not as if it's some big deal or major issue for us in the long run. We're just going to keep integrating the French territories that we've seized. Because I see no reason to give them up or make new subjects out of them. We're the King of England and France, after all. Thus is our rightful claim. Yeah, you'd have an uphill battle making the industrialists powerful, but uphill battle is different from impossible. It would take you time and a lot of investment, but you could absolutely do it in Victoria 3, which is one of the reasons why I really enjoy the game, is the just wacky shenanigans you can get away with. We should actually, you know what, we should subsidize the glass guilds too, I just realized. That way glass actually stays cheap. Are you guys... No, okay, they were not set to do garrisons. I was wondering why they retook that so fast. That's because we didn't have a garrison set. Well, I guess we just have to siege it again then. Which is a little unfortunate. Actually, bring the army back, we get our cannons back first. How many cannons should we have? We have 14 of you, and that's, what, 50 each? Dang, that's a lot of cannons we're missing. I noticed the cannons tend to die a lot in battle. Which I'm wondering if that's just because there's way less cannon than there is infantry. Very much could just be that's the case, that there's just way less cannon than infantry. And so they tend to perceptively die more when it's just you have less. Yeah, so we had to take this back again, but that's fine. Up, and Aragon breaks their alliance with us thanks to France. Which, it's happened before, it'll happen again, we just have to deal with it. I don't think it'll be too much of an issue in the long run. I am not spending money on mercenaries. I could not care less for mercenaries, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, just max out our aristocracy, why not? We'll just have aristocrats for life, I suppose. Yeah, I feel like as long as you stay with an autocratic form of government in Victoria 3, eventually the industrialists will become powerful because of all the wealth they'll accumulate. It's when you go to a much more liberal government is when it starts to become a lot harder. Oh, that's cute. France thinks it's winning the war. I've only mobilized a portion of our forces, and I think they're winning. How adorable. As soon as we're done with this 57% siege that we keep failing, we'll show them what. It actually rolled wrong again. Please, I wanted to roll wrong again, just please. Yay, it did. Water shortage. I'm actually noticing that the commoners are building several buildings. I'm surprised considering they have negative income. Oh, you know what? It's probably because of that event. It gave them all that money, and so they just spent it immediately. That would make sense, because they shouldn't be able to otherwise. They're not making enough money to do that. There's no way they could pull it off, you see. Yeah, I gotta keep making sure that the army actually has the auto refill. I feel like that's getting turned off on me, though. Paris already has it. An actual garrison, so it'll be fine there. I don't think we have control down here yet. We have it along the northern coastline. That's about it. That's kind of about where it ends. Yep, there we go. What can we get out of this war as well? I don't think we can make France a subject because it's just too expensive. Execute ruler. I don't know if that's something you should be doing. Because this is just kind of a regular war. It's not using the unique CB to actually make France a subject, a personal union subject. To do that, we have to have more great power score than them right now, and we don't. But that's why we're trying to take all this territory. So that we can actually seize it from them. Or at least make it to where they're weaker than us. Yeah, let's actually take the money. And then we're just gonna kind of... Oh, I misclicked Paris there. We're just gonna kind of keep knocking their troops down at this point since we already control the main target. That way they just don't have a choice but to surrender. And also it just gives me opportunities to replenish our troops while we're waiting. Okay, the papacy has managed to retake control. Which means next turn the tithes should disappear. Also, meritocracy has finished spreading to us. At least, it finished spreading to us enough. So we are going to go ahead and get all of this technology. Just all of that. Actually, I'd like to get power projection done first. And where are we on the other technologies? Just literacy's already partway finished. That's good. That's what we want. Oh boy, here we go again. And immediately 58 cannons dead. I'm losing as many cannons as I can replenish in a month, if not more. Oh wow, the monthly change is pretty high. Oh, Parliament in session, right? I was gonna say that's a little high, even for the clergy. I think what it is high electoral confidence makes it to where the votes matter more. I believe with low electoral confidence in Victoria 3, you actually have wealth mattering more for votes or political clout. Just because the votes themselves are not worth as much due to the lack of confidence that they're actually doing anything. We might make this a bit of a short war, too. I think we've already bullied France enough at this point. They've lost more troops than we have. Also, all of our subjects got convinced out of the war by bribes from France. But France itself has no army. It's entirely reliant on Castile, who joined the war, to actually keep this going. So, basically, France has lost this war. And it's just a matter of choosing our spoils. Are they, they're not splitting too hard. Okay. Because I'm thinking maybe we do it... See, I'd like to get that fort too, but I don't really need the fort. Maybe something like this. It gets us several forts, including the fort up here, so we have more coastline to land on. And Paris itself falls to us. It's not bad. Most of Europe doesn't care. Yeah, I think this is a fine peace deal. It's not too much territory that we could have maybe gotten, but I feel like it's enough territory. It's enough to just put France down. Yeah, as you can see here, they lost the 70+ income they were getting from the church because they have now lost the schism, and they just lost Paris, their capital. So now they're heavily reliant on diplomatic income to actually stay afloat. And of course, we now have more troops than they do, or more people than they do. Paris itself literally has 142,000 on its own. So at this point, I think it's safe to say that France has just kind of fallen. And we're under a positive capital economy now. Actually, can we get more innovation? No. Okay. In that case, communalism... We're actually not that high on communalism. We could use more of it. But with all the territory we control, we probably want to start incorporating more of it. And we are now a great power, while France has fallen all the way down from 8th great power to 18th power. So they fell quite a bit. Ah, the papacy found our spy. That was actually quick. They usually don't find them that fast. Well, if I can't steal technology, I'll steal the map of the Caspian Sea, because... why not? I really don't have a good reason to. 36% chance, 21. Man, people are really finding our spies. Wow, Bohemia ate Austria. They ate several people, actually. No, they actually don't have someone we can spy with. Okay. I think we just keep our army over here. Is this our... Oh, but he's so good. He's, like, really good at his job. I just reprimand him. We'll just pay the money for it. It's fine. It's fine. He's just a little corrupt. What could go wrong? I was gonna say Cherbourg is probably one of the best places to build a road network from. What is the other really good spot? Technically, these newly coveted areas that we took control of are good too. Not as good, but we're trying to set this up to be better. I'm hoping to have the first episode of the Russia game out before February, actually. I've just been not focused a lot on doing content lately. That's just kind of a matter of life issue. Things go up and down all the time, but we are here and we're going to play this for a few hours. And I only have a few hours to play to play EU5 today because I have dinner planned with my parents later in the evening, and I do not want to miss that. Oh, do we actually have 2? Oh, yeah, we have 2 cardinals now, chat, because we took Paris. Fantastic. I can't wait to later betray the papacy. I mean, protect the Pope with my life. I would never betray the papacy. Never. We get to vote in these almost meaningless elections indefinitely. Oh, yeah, and since we've taken the capital, France will have had to move their court somewhere else. And, of course, by having to move their court somewhere else, they've lost all the buildings that they were using, which is very fun. I actually don't know where their court is, because I keep finding all their subjects' courts. Not that it matters too much. We should be fine. Oh! I just realized I can just mouse over here and see it. It says that their capital is still Paris, but... I don't know how true that is. Oh, there it is. That makes more sense. They moved it very far to the south, actually. So all the control they had up here is now just dying out. And all the control down here is going up. But up here is probably where they invested so heavily. Yeah, we're making 100 ducats now with some cut funding. Just get a couple cannon makers going as well. Yeah, now that we own the Paris market, it shifted everything back. We might actually destroy one of the markets later down the line. I'm not sure when, though. But at some point, we'll do it. Why can't we do it here? Because you don't have people? Requirement's not met. Is it 10,000 people? Oh, you literally can't upgrade this location. Okay. Because of the Royal Forest. Right. Right. That makes sense. I forgot the English have that building, and there's a number of royal forests throughout the land. That's kind of cool, though. Yeah, I guess I'll take the free development. It's not really free because of all the stuff we lose, but we can pretend it's free, right? And just build them up. No, in EU5, you definitely want to have multiple markets because of market access. The worse market access is for a location, so the worse this number is, the worse their output for buildings is going to be, and the less money raw materials will make. So you do want it to be high. I would say you want to shoot for 70% or higher. There can be some use to having some centralization, but I would ultimately say, who are we excommunicating? I don't care about this one. Could we excommunicate the ruler of France? That'd be great. But yeah, basically, the higher market access is, the better. So you will want to run with multiple markets in your game. Some centralization can be useful, but you don't want to have too much, or else you're going to have locations that are just not productive at all. So for the next war with France, we might wait until we get the... Oh, Burgundy's there. Until we get the event that gives us the core claim, or the claim to the throne itself. We're gonna kind of just wait on that one is what I'm thinking, because we don't have it at the moment. And I think it'd be a very good one to have. Oh, we actually get 6 there, good. Yeah, you know what? The lords are at 50. I'll print money with their loyalty. And I really am... see, I might not upgrade the saffron one just because saffron is extremely rare where we are right now. But things like wheat and wool, I feel like we could build these up in the towns and we're fine. We don't suffer the legumes. Because there's just so much of it. And as you can see, I mean, our money's going up. We're at 121 ducats now, the second highest being diplomatic income, of course. Of course, getting our tax efficiency just now is going to help us. St. George Day. Or I can choose to gain 10 innovation and humanist. We can make the clergy happier. Why not? Research is at 1.79 right now. Making them a little happier would go a long way. Potentially go a long way. It could go nowhere. Chancery's at level 2 now, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure before I stopped focusing on it. Should have plenty of book demand now that we have all these libraries. I mean, a lot of that is from building... Oh, no, library maintenance is at 3.4, it just said. We're actually importing 5 books into London. That's good, that's good. It gives me a reason to just mass build scriptorums and just profit off of our book usage. Is France actually losing that war? Oh, it's an anti-French coalition, even better. Decline of the Chink port. So, any one of these can be made into... Oh, I see. So, we can either choose to demolish the one at Canterbury or get just a free dock in any of these areas. Doesn't Southampton already have a dock? It does not. Well... Portsmouth would probably be better. It has higher harbor capacity. So I just do it there. I mean, we'll probably build them everywhere, but it's giving me an option right now, and I'm trying to choose what's probably the best option. Distillers Guild. The one in Paris. Alright, let's get more marketplaces going, because trade is always beneficial. Especially when you're selling sugar, apparently. And books to ourselves, but hopefully that changes. It's also to just generate more demand between the markets. Higher trade efficiency, and just slowly make more money as time goes on. Is there any additional exploring we can do now that we're actually... Yeah, the Canterbury Islands. There's a lot we could do. Although we need to make sure we choose someone who's not going to die in 5 years, because that's not very helpful when they're very dead. Yeah, Sir Robert the Grey. Why not? He's 21. He'll be fine. If he comes back limping, we'll know not to go there. Okay, so I noticed that the war between Bohemia and the Papacy's begun for the next 30 years, the Hussite Wars. It also looks like Naples formed 2 Sicilies and is probably going to be the one to form Italy at the rate this is going. Whispers of the Halls. The emissary is refused. Oh, I'm guessing if we refuse... yeah, I'm guessing if we refuse, something bad is going to happen to us later, so... Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, see, now we're aware that this person apparently plans to kill us. The guy's 109 years old. Wait, what? Wait, he's 109 years old? We gotta track this guy, Chad. I need to know how long he lives. I don't know how he's 109 years old in the 1400s. Hi, Major. Welcome for however long you're able to be here. Apparently, we have a guy who's 109 years old and he plans to kill our king at a banquet. We're gonna see where the issue goes from there because we haven't gotten any further yet. Also, there's several rebellions attempting to kill us, so that's nothing new. We'll probably have to have the court squash a few rebellions next. Speaking of rebellions, I like the change that they're making in the upcoming update where minor rebellions that are just like a couple patriot areas will be treated as kind of like a minor civil war instead of a major civil war like everything else. I don't know how good of a change it will be, but I think it'll be a net positive. We're gonna find out whenever the update comes around. Yeah, that minus 5% in state enrichment would be nice, because we're missing almost 1% of our tax base due to our trade income. Which is not fun, because I like my tax base. Because I like to collect taxes, I guess. Let's see. I love the brewery in the Distillers Guild is very large. Oh! So we could attend as planned and what, just die? But if we don't, because they're planning to kill the king, who's a sinner. He's a scholar, though, but he's also a sinner. Let's follow the historical. Yep. So 50% chance we get a rebel faction, 50% chance that they just die. Oh, he's 110 and he'll die, or we just guarantee that we kill them. Yeah, guarantee that we kill them. Yeah, that's gonna upset the lords. Yeah, the lords' insurgents are growing, but it's mainly French nobles who just don't like us. Although I think our integration of Paris is gonna have to wait at this point because the rebellions are starting to get just a bit too up there. We actually need to kind of slow them down a little. Why is the cannon maker higher? It must be in an area that just lacks cannon. You know what? Let's just spend money on mass expanding some RGOs. They'll probably get shrunk down later if they got too big, like these iron deposits here. But it's spread out enough to where I think it's fine. It's not going to be a major issue in the long run. Oh, goody. More maritime presence. Oh, yeah, so he died at the age of 110 years old in the 1400s. Don't know how he managed. I think it was just pure spite against the king that allowed him to live so long. That was the sole reason. He was just that angry at the king that it kept him going when nothing else would. Now I have to figure out all of our different technologies here because there's a lot of options still. We're kind of avoiding the Catholicism text because we're likely going to switch away from Catholicism later down the line in the... Probably in the Age of Reformation. You know what? Let's actually get cultural capacity and then go down to anatomy. That would resolve our cultural capacity limit issue, which would be pretty good. You know, if the game doesn't want to give me my little CB, I might just declare war myself in 1412. It might not be giving it because we're under a truce right now, so it could also just be that. It's waiting till the truce ends. And we have a lot of horse potential, which is good. It's always good to have more horses. Let's actually stop that one, because we're probably going to build it here next. Yeah. Just build it around Windsor. Oh, I'm definitely butchering that. Exploration cost is 25. Stability is 11. We do have some debts to pay off. I probably should be doing that instead. Yeah, instead of building new towns, I probably should be paying off our debts. But, you know, when has the English monarchy ever handled its money reasonably well? Or the French, for that matter, actually. They both learned a few lessons there. 3.45% chance to find our spies. That's not bad. We could easily steal some technologies then. Well, the Ottomans are doing okay, but I don't think they're getting the city at this point. Hungary. Wow, Bulgaria's dead, I just realized. They're not completely off the map, but I've never seen Bulgaria do this poorly. Oh, 15 research points. I can't say no to that. It's a lot of research in a short amount of time. Oh, good. Now there's 2 Novgorods. Well, I mean, there always was 2 Novgorods, but there's Novgorods all the way down here with subjects. Okay, so the Pale's gotten itself into a bit of a war. Which, yeah, you know, it should be fine. The Pale's taken a lot of Ireland, and I don't think they actually need our help. They just want our assurances that we'll come protect them if it gets too dicey. We're not going to actually send our armies over there because I think they'll be fine. I don't think they need us. We'll promise them aid without actually sending it. It'll be okay. Well, at least you came to say hi. Forest village. Okay, well, you do that, Mr. Clergyman. You do that. Fancy and Patriots are about to revolt, and I really don't want to siege this again. I could just let the revolt happen, but I really don't want to go through a month-long siege at Paris again if I can avoid it. As long as I can get Anjou down here integrated and start getting more control, we should be fine. They actually don't even have proximity. Where is your proximity coming from? I see. Down there. I don't know what the best pathing choice would be here. It'd probably be better to just get a good port built up over here, maybe. And by extension, get more presence through the Navy, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah, no, the Pale has easily won this. They're just waiting on their sieges to finish already. And we are debt-free for the moment. We might, since we're wanting to colonize in the Age of Reformation, we might... Or, sorry, the Age of Discovery, we might actually take the diplomatic focus instead of the administrative one, given our focus desires. Only 45% English now, and it's okay. We can accept more cultures now. There it is. Conquer the throne of France. That's what I was kind of holding out for. Because that is what will allow us to actually take the throne. Now, Castile will join. Let me see if Aragon's willing to make a new alliance again. They are not, because we're at war with the Pale. So let's just wait for this to finish then. That way, when we do the war, Aragon will fight Castile instead of us having to do all of it ourselves. Because I don't want to do the whole thing myself. So once they're ready to come back us up again, then we'll go ahead and start the whole fight. Give it to the lords, because we're trying to get the lords insurgents to stop murdering us. That way we don't have a civil war in 5 months, which might happen regardless from a different circumstance, but that's okay. We can build this up to 7, please do. And you know what? We can't really make lumber from RGOs, but we have lumber mills we can make, so I'm just going to convert some tools into lumber. Okay, they're at 100, so this should just end. Unless, am I in charge of this? Oh! My bad. I'm in charge of this. So we could either just make them all subjects or do a direct annexation. Honestly, I don't see a reason not to just take it all and then just give it over to the Pale and let the Pale control it. I mean, the only thing I could be worried about is all the aggressive expansion it gives us. But it doesn't really upset anyone that's not already upset with us over the whole French issue, so it doesn't really change anything. We could also just keep direct control of it. Because I guess the Pale really isn't doing any better than we are, so I guess we could just assume direct control. And now we'll prepare for our actual conflict. Oh, I'm in the wrong menu. It actually looks like Castile may have just bled a lot of troops. Are they at war with Morocco? They are. So Castile is actually in a pretty big war right now. Which is fantastic for us. Who's disloyal? Oh, I don't care about those two. So Aragon will, of course, join. We'll call them to arms guaranteed. And I did do that right? Yep. Now we have to go all the way down to the south to actually take their capital, but that's fine. No, I don't want to raise all levies. Because I don't need every unit in France right now. We just need to raise the English portion and then we're good. Really just the English portion that we need, honestly. And since our regular force is already in France, we should be okay. Although we may want to keep it near the coastline until the rest of the army is actually here. I just zoom in so I can grab the navy here and actually get them to form up. Almost bring the whole army at once. Almost. But I'll take half. Half is still good. Let me just do it again. It's actually another 30 ships I could have used, but that's fine. First act will be to destroy the army that's up here in the north, and then we'll just move south. If I can remember to bring morale with me, of course. Thankfully, we still won, but that was a little dicey. And I don't know if we actually have the points to enforce it. Oh, no, we do. 90.6. It's military strength of France relative to England. Okay, yeah, so we can absolutely enforce this and just claim the throne. Yeah, all we need to do is take the capital. And obviously have enough war score. So we have to basically demolish France. But that's why we're going to aim to actually fully destroy their military. Ah! They actually sent troops back in 1 because we didn't have any morale. That is a lot of subjects of theirs. So I'll actually influence one of them. Okay. I feel like it's the one downside. We might actually split the army into 2 smaller segments so we can actually hunt them sufficiently. Especially because our movement's slowed by the fact we have 116 little regiments. So what we'll probably do here, split the army in half, even though it's going to split it weirdly because of just where the numbers are. Try to go fight them in 2 separate areas. Oh, you actually finished integration. Well done. But the ideal here is that they'll be able to move a little faster as a result. I was gonna say, they both should have cannon. The problem is that they're not gonna have a lot of cannon. Only a little bit of cannon. John Capgrave. Hey, yeah, welcome to the court then. Always gotta enjoy more research. Yeah, this is bloody. Although, Castile did win their war, but they lost a lot of troops in the process. The only downside to splitting up our troops, though, is that I do not have the cannon to siege quickly. That is perhaps the biggest pain I'm under right now. So, let's just get a lot of cannon up and running. Oh, that's cute. They got 1,800 troops onto our side. And now they're perpetually blocked in forever. Yeah, the second they try to send aid, it just dies. Actually, I should probably treat their presence over here as an actual threat. It's not that many troops, so they could slowly take territory over and just win that way. Or at least be really annoying. Hey, we can actually conduct a census. Fruity liquor. The explorer events are sometimes silly. Sometimes. Okay, let's get these cannons over there. We'll just have them join up with one of them for now. That way we have enough troops. Did Canterbury... Yeah, there it is. And then we'll just block them from crossing some of the strait to quickly reinforce again. They were able to take some of the forts, unfortunately. But fortunately, the troops they used were so few and far between. We can just kind of liberate them and take them right back. I notice every time I form this up with levies, it turns off the autofill again for the garrisons. Which is a little annoying. I don't know why it doesn't keep what I've told the regulars to do. Yeah, because this army also doesn't have it, even though they should. I don't know why it does that. But I'm not a fan of it, I can tell you that much. Oh, this one doesn't... Oh, we've been sieging it this whole time, there's only 10 people in it. Are you kidding me? What kind of stratagem is this that we've been tricked by? Actually, go ahead and bring them down too. We need to get ready. And then, honestly, I'm thinking we invest down to coastal forts next, partially for the reinforcement speed as well. But we need coastal forts to just build up our maritime presence permanently without actually needing ships in those regions. It'll make things a bit easier for us. Levies lost to attrition. There we go. Okay. We should be fine now. Their armies over in England are just no match for us. In fact, the army in the Netherlands is apparently it's apparently in exile because I can't attack it, but it's also starving, so it's just dying, which I find to be amusing. Oh, Dover's been taken. That's what they took. That was a fort. I knew they had taken a fort, but I couldn't recall which one was the fort they had taken. Yeah, 66,000 to 21,000. They've lost this war. And we have a new king again. Man, these kings are just dropping like flies. I just can't keep them around long enough. Alright, time to appoint another person from the crown to the cabinet, because we haven't learned our lesson, I guess. Oh, that means the person in charge of the navy is gone. There we go. No. I would like to keep my money, thank you very much. What is he? Gascon? The previous one is English. I mean, it's not that far from the truth. No, there's not that much of a difference between being English or French right now, right? Surely not. Do we not control... I don't think we control the whole province, do we? We don't, because there's a castle blocking one part. So, let's bring someone down there to just seize control of it directly. There we go. And then just put the castle under siege. And that should allow us a ticking war score, maybe? No? Oh, that is the whole area. I guess there isn't any ticking war score for this one in particular. So all the battles that were lost by our subjects does not help at all. All of our subjects are just actively leaving the war because of influenced French subject. I mean, two can play at that game. We can just keep this going until we've occupied everything. Well, unless they ask the Pope to help a truce be signed, which would be a bit of an issue. So that's dependent on military strength. I see. And it's based on what the meters think. Up, and Aragon's left. It's the same thing they did last time. Oh, good, he has a general trait too now, even though he hasn't fought with the army. It's a funny little event. Oh, we actually lost that. That was with half our regulars, too. Oh, our heir died. Huh. Well, that sucks. Oh, they have a level 5-star general in this army. I see. That makes sense then. I can see how they would win that. So I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get France in this war just because a lot of our subjects got kind of keyed out of it. Although if I do that to enough of their subjects, we'll probably be fine. And that's just what we need to do, in my opinion, is just the same thing the French are doing, because the French themselves only have about 12,000 troops scattered throughout the land. I do mean scattered. They're God knows where right now. Is that some tiny rebellion somewhere? Yeah. I didn't see that one ticking up in the background until it was too late. That's okay, though. Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue, is just they have a lot of little blobs running around, making things a bit of a problem. Oh, we'll bring the other troops over. We might as well, because evidently we just need lockdown units. Also, Castile being in the war still is a bit of a pain, but maybe we just get them to leave. Although, they would can take a separate sue. Yeah, there we go. Now it's just us and the French. Although, despite all of the occupations we've done, the French have just won so many battles against our subjects and the occasional unit we sent that it's not doing too well. But we can still try. With our lack of cannon. I know they have food. Control or monetary policy, not of my interest. Artois didn't leave, that's fine. Man, almost all of our cannons are dead. It's like 20 in this army, 7 in that one. The game just does not like cannons, I will tell you that right now. It treats them very harshly. Okay, we can probably end the rebellion pretty easily now. Yeah, there we go. It's over. I don't think... Oh, you know what? They're actually... Their war enthusiasm is actually terrible right now. It actually wouldn't take too much to pressure them. If we can just occupy a few more critical castles, maybe that breaks them. Because that will swing the war score towards our favor. This is the 5th phase of the 100 Years' War. God. That sounds awful. Like it's just a war that can't end. Oh yeah, they're just refusing to betray England. But I'm getting betrayed by all my subjects. Like all my subjects. Can't trust any of them, I swear. There we go. All of that for 2 more points in war score. What is our current court language? Because apparently the game is giving me an opportunity to change it. I don't know if I want to make it my court language. Common language is currently English. Liturgical is Latin. I forget where to see your court language. Although it probably doesn't matter too much. I think we'll just take the prestige for now. I already know our court language is different from our common language. Oh, it's probably under cabinet, isn't it? Maybe not cabinet specifically, but it's around here somewhere. Oh, good. Naive enthusiast. I'm sure this will end well. Yeah, I can see this happening. Yep, thought so. They came. I knew they were gonna come around here. Diplo capacity might be good to grab. Yeah, let's grab Diplo capacity. If we're about to make France a subject, it's going to be very expensive to maintain. So anything that gives us a little more Diplo capacity right now might be best. Okay, some of France's subjects are starting to kind of leave. Yeah, they're slowly starting to leave it. Although I don't know if that will last. But the more that leave, the better, because it's making the peace deal cheaper due to our strength difference. Good, we have a little more mappage here. Also forgot about our spy and the Pope, because I always forget and we just play on 5 speed because we're insane. Okay, check back in a few months. Maybe they'll have enough research by then. Integration process, because there's way too much territory to integrate right now. Oh, it's our Russia game all over again. Actually, can you integrate areas around Paris? That way we have good control over it. Kind of waiting for one of these sieges to finish so I can send them up to that army there. Attempt to publish it. Translated copy is published in honor of John Wilcliffe. Or the Lords consider it a betrayal. Let's attempt to publish it. And it's a new work of art. Cool. It's free art. They don't want you to tell it. They don't want anyone to tell you this, but you can just create art out of thin air. You just get this random event, and then boop, you have art. More banks are existing, which is okay. It doesn't really do too much for us. Okay, E, careful here. They just offered white peace, and I don't want to click it by mistake. Of course, they're only offering white peace because they know that they're on the verge of losing. Yep, we win. +5. We're at -2 now. Or sorry, we were at -2. There we go. Okay. This will be a little expensive. Take at least these territories too, yeah? Yeah. Okay. I don't know if this was the best call to make, but we are now in a union with France. So the Kingdom of France is an extension of the Kingdom of England. And that is going to end the 100 Years' War situation. Let's get universal Christianity. I know we'll still have this when we carry over to something different. Because it'll still have the same tech requirement. Maybe cost of court reduction. And we'll go from there. England wins the 100 Years' War. Alright. So we got 20 prestige, 20 years decaying modifier, loyalty of subjects. That's kind of it. Well, technically that's not it. We also got France as a personal union subject. Which, of course, we can't view each other as rivals now because we're a personal union. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to want to fight us now because they'd have to fight England and France at this point, plus all the subjects. Although France has definitely seen better days when it comes to their finances. That was completely caused by us, and I don't feel bad about it in the slightest. 168 for another cardinal seat? God. Cardinal seats are expensive. Very expensive. We're in 5 markets now as well. Well, I guess we've been in 5 markets for a while. It's just because of our new permanent presence in Dublin is what's really adding on to it. Because I don't have the naval access yet, we'll just get a lot of roads going. But we're going to have to build a lot of capital ships as soon as I actually decide to do the technology for it. Which I don't think we've done yet, even though we really arguably should. Yeah, Mediterranean galley is one thing we can get. We're getting all the way down the construction speed is good, too. I do like dropping our expected cost to court, though. It's always a pain. The grand apartment. Where can I get one of those? Yeah, I know we can't actually build it. It's a unique building, but I would love to have that. What we actually need to do is unlock counting houses at some point so we can start spending money for those. But with that not being available, we can always just build temples. And universities. Ideally, universities around the capital, because that's where all the intelligence will come from, right? No. Not at all. Not in the slightest. We could call a crusade. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn exploration on now, since we aren't going to do any wars for a while, and I won't need as much money as before. That way it starts to automate this exploration stuff before we're actually in the full swing of the Age of Discovery. And then cost of court's in our top 5 expenditures, so getting any of that down before we start getting great power stuff would be good. Especially since hegemonies add more cost to it as time goes on. Wait. Why are you the heir? I mean, I don't mind that you're the heir, but why are you the heir? Your score is literally 3 points. You're also the granddaughter, but... oh well. I shouldn't question it. As long as she's also the ruler of France, I don't care. And the ruler of France she is. Well, the heir to the throne of France, I should specify. Ah, who needs specifications? All you need to know is that she's gonna rule 2 massive kingdoms. And there's no one to stop her. Except, you know, a bad case of plague. That would stop me, that's for sure. So that's without the Navy, right? Yeah, because the Navy's down here guarding the English Channel. Well, at least a part of the English Channel. They're doing nothing over here right now. But that's what allows us to get any form of control down here at all. So it should kind of link up here too. Because this is arguably one of our best port locations, and it really should be built up as such. They already have wharfs, but I think we need a lot of docks. Partially because I do need to build a much larger navy down the line. And I would like to annex Brittany at some point, just because it is all coastline, so that would be pretty easy to control, but we're probably going to take a small breather and just focus on consolidating what we currently control. Eventually, probably annex France, but that is a long ways away. At least we don't have to worry about the 100 Years' War anymore. It's all settled and done. Now we just have to worry about France trying to kill us anyway. Sure. It's just a random marriage. Doesn't have any, Oh, we have a war goal against Alba. Alba is still an ally with France, though, because of the guarantee. I see. I guess the Scots get to keep the rest of their kingdom. We must either destroy all... Oh, great, wait. So, we can form Great Britain still, despite winning the 100 Years' War. I was actually told by some people you can't form Great Britain, if you win the 100 Years' War against France. That does not appear to be true. I do, however, need to make Alba a subject or destroy them entirely, which is going to be a little more difficult, because France is currently guaranteeing them. Although that could change. They actually just annexed Flanders, or at least they were in the process of doing so. It looks like Flanders is still alive. No, Flanders is gone. The Netherlands exists. Flanders here is gone. That's what it was. Right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. So I see what's happening. This circle right here is full, and I thought they had just finished the annexation, but when you actually mouse over it, it shows you the actual progress. The game was just lying to me. That's all. Nothing to worry about. The game just wasn't telling the truth. You know, normal game things. That's how it goes, right? The game just doesn't tell you what's happening. And it's perfectly fine. There's no issue with that. Wow, you guys are giving us 14 ducats a month? I mean, you do have money, but I'm surprised. Ah, they have salt and then a lot of wine. I don't know if wine is really one of the main factors there, but they have a lot of wine down there. So it's very possible that that's just one of the primary focuses. Oh, they found the agent again. Could request a divorce, not that I want to. Who can we target? Egypt. And that's kind of it. Egypt would be a big target. So that does make some sense. Man, Bohemia's got 925 tax base. I'm not that surprised by it, given all the gold they get. We're at 490. It shot up recently thanks to some control. We still need to get a lot more down here in Paris, but it's still considered conquered, so big negatives down here all around. I would... Ooh, see, I would like to crush Castile next, but I don't know how we'd go about doing that for them. Because they're definitely not going to just give in nicely. They're definitely going to resist the whole way. Maybe... We probably research Protected Harbor in the early Care Act next. That way we actually have capital ships, so we can actually start really investing in the Navy. And Protected Harbors would give us more harbor capacity, so it would be easier to just propagate control away from areas like London. London should already be at 100%, right? Or over 100. Yeah, it's already super high. It'd just be a matter about making a lot of other areas also project it. Speaking of... people are dying of old age. I was gonna say, speaking of all that, we should probably take some of the areas that can be good, very good port locations, like Dover, and work on making them into towns right now. That way they'll be able to build, like, the dock, the protected harbor. Plymouth is another idea. Truro. I'm definitely mispronouncing these. Actually, I know we have almost no control here, but I am going to build up the copper reserves anyway. That way we have access to a fine amount of copper. There's actually a bit of fruit up here. I'm shocked. Who would have thought we'd actually get access to fruit? Not me, that's for sure. There we go. We've got several more towns lined up now. England will be very prosperous. Especially now that France is nothing more than a part of that empire. Maybe we repair relations with Castile and try to get them into the personal union. That's an idea. Although their heir is going to assume the throne a lot sooner than ours will. By at least 6 years. By then he'll probably be married. So it's hard to see if that's going to work out. How are her stats right now? They're not too great, but she's got a gift for administration, allegedly. I'm actually glad that Morocco's been able to put up a fight with Castile, even though it looks like Castile's winning it. Kind of gave us the extra opening we needed to just pummel France into becoming a part of our lands. Because now France and all of its subjects, basically, especially France itself, unless it's responding to a guarantee, which in this case it would be if we were to attack Alba. Unless it's responding to a guarantee, it actually can't oppose us. I guess we should have destroyed Alba before then, but I didn't think we'd be able to form Britain if we won the 100 Years' War, yet we can. Hey, King, thanks for the welcome back. I'm hoping to kind of make some more content here and there, kind of slow roll it. It's just been a lot of full-time shifts at work and then doing things at home because we also now have... We've adopted 2 new puppies, my parents did, after an older dog of ours passed away to cancer in November. We weren't planning to adopt 2 dogs from the same litter. We weren't planning to adopt 2 dogs at all, actually, but one of them, they just went very well together. They were playing an awful lot with each other. They were really attached to each other, and taking only one of them and leaving the other behind just didn't feel right. So we ended up adopting them both instead. Instead of separating the 2. You converted Lutherian and the world hates you now. Well, look, either your game's gonna go very well now that you're Lutherian, or it's going to go really poorly and France is going to be burning down. I hope, for your sake, I hope it will be the former and France does really well under your stewardship. But I'm absolutely prepared for your game to just explode. Because it sounds like it's going to go one of 2 ways. 5 research, please. We always want our research progress. The more research we can get done before the next age, the better off we're going to be. I need my protected harbor. Because what I want to do is build up a lot of protected harbors and get that harbor capacity up, because it's going to make it so much easier to just spread control to these areas as long as we have good maritime presence, which higher... Yeah, sure. Having higher harbor capacity will also help spread more local maritime presence, which will make it easier to sustain these without having the fleet around. You did it during a civil war. Well, you could think of it like giving yourself an extra challenge by complete accident. You didn't mean to do it, but, you know, this is where you are now. Interestingly enough, Morocco is actually willing to allow us to build an overseas trading post here, which is a little curious because I'm pretty sure you need good relations for that. Oh, no, it just has to be overseas. It just needs to not be in Europe. Huh. Well, the more you know. I'm thinking of the other trade post. That's what it is. I'm thinking of the trade office. This one is a little more restrictive. They actually need to like you. A crazy idea, I know, right? People actually have to like you in order to trade in their territory. Who would... Unbelievable thought. You know what? How are our lumber prices right now? I know we kind of borked them a little. I know we've been importing a lot of lumber. We're still importing about 10 of it. Because what we can do in order to lower that is just mass build lumber mills. Wow. And all these need is they just need tools. And we already have a nice chunk of tool workshops kind of producing iron and making a surplus. We can honestly just convert more of those tools into wood to make it cheaper to build things like cities. I would like to get the theater at some point just because that does act as a +2 satisfaction building. The bark is the transport ship, right? No, you only carry 25. You're not the transport ship at all. I do want to encourage urbanization and the entry pot. Actually, before we get either of those, the counting house is something we want. We did talk about that. That way we can get our crown power up a bit higher, because right now it's sitting at about 25%. And, you know, we can actually go ahead and switch off local army organization. We were using it in order to have enough troops to beat France in those wars in order to win the 100 Years' War. But now that the 100 Years' War is over, we don't really need the army to be that big. Oh, excuse me. I went to drink some of my tea and it decided it wasn't going to go down quietly. Trade office network wouldn't be bad if we want to just invest into more trade, but honestly, none of that's going to work until we have trade maintenance cost reduction. Which I got to learn, the fun thing is that if you get trade maintenance done like -90 or -100%, as I learned in my Novgorod game in Russia, you can reach a point where your markets will just trade resources with each other indefinitely, to the point where they're just kind of creating a fake economy. It's very funny. Also kind of ruins it if you're trying to trade with other countries because they're no longer as profitable for you, but I do think it's funny. See, now that France, I guess if we were to take the southern or the northern area of Castile, that'd be fine, right? We could also be wild and try to form a country that isn't Britain, but we might try to be at least a little sane here, just a little. All right, Mr. Pope, it's time for another spy network because I know it's been long enough. I know, we're coming to spy on your stuff again, but your counter-espionage is so low. I just have to do it. So, incense, rice, olives, copper. And then we actually have a lack of silver in the London market, which is funny because I'm building this up right now to have more silver. I guess we might want to eventually improve our relations with France, but honestly, they're just really upset about the whole declared war thing indefinitely. So it's more about just waiting for that to finish. I don't think there's any actions I really want to do here. Could seize territory, but that's just silly. I would rather just let the economy grow. And build ships, of course. You can't have enough ships. So the next time someone decides to challenge our navy, we can actually just sink it to the bottom of the ocean. See, it would be fitting. I did call this the English Menace. It would be very fitting to just invade Portugal and Castile next and knock them down. But I think Castile... Yeah, because France is still very independent. It's still very much an independent country. It's just under... Oh, we already under established seniority? Oh! So when it formed this, it did establish seniority by default. That's actually really good. And we can't do this until when? 4 years? Okay. Of course, Bohemia is going to win the Hussite Wars. That's kind of normal. We have no real reason to kind of join either side either, because we're not a neighbor or in here in any way. And I honestly don't want to waste our strength fighting the Hussite Wars after fighting the 100 Years' War. So I'd rather focus on building the economy for the Age of Discovery and all the funding we're going to need for it. Like, almost inevitably need for it. Get some gunsmiths, some weaponsmiths. Just get all that going so we can build up an even larger army. At least until this reaches 40. Oh, it is at 40. It's just infantry and artillery. Because we didn't have enough artillery to actually do things easily, so we just kept flooding it with more troops. In that case, we'll just start building up a second army at home. So if anyone gets any funny ideas of actually fighting us once we recruit less peasants, they'll think twice. Is what we hope. Now, the obvious downside here is that we are kind of splitting the power of the crown. Well, actually, they're all being led by a noble, so we're just going to get 2 crown people in charge. That way we get the in-command bonuses for having the army under full crown control. That's about 3% that we just got. And trade is honestly not really much of an income source for us. It's more about just selling goods. That way we can then make more goods by having more things to sell. In fact, our fine cloth is finally not dying to horrifically low prices. It's just dying to somewhat low prices. In other words, it's still doing poorly, but we like to pretend it's not. Ah, yeah, see, there we go. Glass is now very cheap. Thanks to us actually funding it instead of forgetting about it. So what I'm now going to do is start building more masonry. At least in the London sector, because we are increasingly using it for construction for towns and guilds. Which is spiking the price. Oh, wow. King, thank you. That actually makes you, unironically, that actually makes you the first member for it. And what I did, the membership, the reason why it's really cheap and why it hasn't gotten too much is YouTube kind of did this offer where it was going to give me $600 if I just made memberships a thing. And we did a poll on the channel, and it was a good, like, 60-70% of people just said, yeah, go ahead, do it. It's just free money. And so we did it. And this was back in, like, September, I think. Like, around September. August to September. And we just let it be its own thing. I just set it up, made it real cheap. So it just became this thing of, if you want to be a supporter and do something, there you go. Just make it something cheap. Because, as I mentioned before, it's about fun first and monetization second. That's why you see an ad at the start of the stream, but you don't see any ads in the middle of the stream. I don't let it play ads in the middle of the stream, despite how insistent YouTube has been about it. Because I feel like if I want to have ads play in the middle of a stream, I'd go do streaming on Twitch. But I don't stream on Twitch because I feel like having ads play in the middle of the live stream kind of ruins the experience. It's one thing if it's a video, because you can pause the video and go back at any time. If it's a live stream, you're kind of you're missing out on some stuff. That being said, I try to not have mid-roll ads in my videos as well, because if I'm already asking you to watch a 2 or 3 hour video, I feel like it's a bit of an insult if I also ask you to watch 8 to 10 ads too. At that point, you probably just want to go watch some other video that's going to be 2 hours long that only plays an ad at the start and then one at the end. Castile is that alliance with France, but they're not allied to Portugal. So Portugal is probably who we're going to strike. I actually, unironically, I think we should ally Morocco here. Well, actually, we could ally Aragon again. Aragon just kind of kept breaking the alliance because France was using the 100 Years' War to break it. That's the only reason why. Kings in Generals History Channel was your first, and I'm your second. Well, thank you. And actually, Kings in Generals is a channel I watch. It is I think it's a very good channel, personally, and I very much enjoy watching them. Especially with, like, the ancient history content of various wars that happened. Oh, I could go over a lot of those if I could remember them. Especially ones that were, like, the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the numerous emperors that would just be killed by other would-be people because their leaders decided, hey, you should be emperor. God, Roman history is just a bloodbath of people becoming emperor and then dying because some guy won a battle in the Far East. And by Far East, I mean, we're talking you won a fight over here against the Persians, so now we're going to march all the way to Rome, or in this case, in some cases, Byzantium. And congratulations, you are now emperor until someone wins a battle, and then you will be deposed. Reminds me of the year of the 5 emperors, too, for Rome. Not a good time for Rome. Great time if you wanted to be emperor for 5 minutes. Not great if you wanted to live longer than 5 minutes. Who do we canonize? I mean, honestly, it's organized this by, like, highest benefit. And I still see it gives us way more prestige than it has any right to. Which I hope they fix. Speaking of the updates that are coming up for Europa Universalis 5, I like most of the stuff they've been showing in the updates. I know the most recent patch notes, they're making it to where you can, like, permanently disable the alert. So if I tell it I don't want to see building missing employees, the upcoming update is going to make it to where you can permanently hide this alert. That's a fantastic change. Great addition. It's a good quality of life. I don't like how they have currently represented complacency in the dev diaries right now, in the Tinto talks. I understand they're trying to represent the decline of empires, but also add an additional challenge so players aren't just steamrolling the game, because if they steamroll the game, well, now you have a problem that your players are just murdering the game every time and it's not a challenge. But with the way it's currently designed, you're basically punished for not being too aggressive. How it's currently set up is if you don't have the maximum number of rivals, you gain complacency, which is just nerfs. If you don't have threatening rivals, it can't go down. If you don't have a coalition arrayed against you, it can't go down. If you're not in a defensive war, it can't go down. So you're encouraged to always have the maximum number of rivalries possible to avoid complacency. Which I kind of understand the idea behind that, but I feel like it disincentivizes you from playing a more diplomatic perspective. Now, you could play, say, Venice and just rival people who are really far away that you don't want to trade with. But if you get too strong, eventually, with all the blobbing, you're going to eventually reach a point where there's only certain people you can actually rival. And then the other ones you can't. Like, with how big we are as England right now, I can't rival Milan over here. They're nowhere near that strong. It wouldn't let me do it. And now that France is a subject of ours by being a junior member, we can't make them a rival. So we're already starting to lose some options there. And I feel like that might be the issue, is that you could play so well that you blob up so much of the map that no one's really a threat. You can't have 4 rivals, and so you're forced into this debuff for the rest of the game for doing too well, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of, because we're talking debuffs like a reduction to your research speed. Although, credit where it's due, they took the initial feedback on an even earlier version of complacency, which was worse, and rolled it back. Complacency in the first Tinto talk was even worse, where it was going to outright reduce the production efficiency of your buildings. It was going to make your economy less efficient for doing really well, which I really didn't like the sound of. Thankfully, they took that out of it, so it's not as bad. The monthly research still hurts a lot, and I don't like it, but it makes at least a little more sense as a modifier in slowing your growth down, instead of just, hey, your economy's terrible because you're doing well, or you're not being aggressive enough towards your neighbors. So they're at least trying to make it better, and I understand that they're trying to represent the decline of empires that became very complacent. Rome itself was a great example of that. The complacency mold with a lot of very fun corruption on top of everything else. Let's get some more stone here, and then I'll just glance over the chat again really quick. You remember ship was $1.50 a month? Oh, really? Is it $1.50 a month? I thought I had it set to... I actually don't remember what it's set to, actually. I thought it was set to $1, but I might be wrong. I haven't checked it Look, I'll be honest with you. I haven't checked it since we set it up. Because no one's ever signed up to it before, so I just left it. It just sat in a corner. It's just been in this corner in the room all its life. You clicked the wrong button, yeah. Export license to nobles. Yeah, because the nobles, the local insurgents are still trying, but at this point, they just have, like, a single castle in France. Spiritual retreat complaints, bellicose support, and then we'll just let it pass. I'd like to get that alliance back with Aragon, but they're not very happy with us now. Oh, wait, they would, but our opinion is negative? So it is. Because they kept breaking the alliance. Right. Okay. And I assume improving relations does it both ways? Or am I wrong? No, I'm right. 10.2 yearly. Either that or they were already improving it and I'm just being gaslit by myself. I'll take it. I mean, either way, the relation's improving and it's going to get better. And we're going to attack Portugal to attack Castile, because if we attack Castile directly, it pulls in France. We don't want that. Also, Aragon is actually allied to Castile right now, so this way we also break Castile's alliance. As soon as they like us again. Whenever that's going to happen. I guess 10.2 a year, not 10.2 a month. I misread that as monthly. I'm thinking in Victoria 3 terms. That's why it didn't make any sense to me when I read it out initially. My brain was just really confused. Oh, we're gonna urbanize England so much you won't even know where the wheat begins and the city ends or something like that. I don't know. We're building towns and you can't stop me. Well, I am from the United States, personally. That's why I use the East Coast time. It's not because I live in the East Coast, but because it's relatively close enough to my own time that I can kind of just convert it from there. But I live on the East Coast. Experience of the Baltic Crusades. What is this? Oh, that is just for Catholicism under England. Okay. I hadn't done that one. I was a little confused. Gravel road research is nice. Speed of integration is not bad. Stability, investment, cost reduction. These are all nice. We're just probably going to grab them a lot later when we have faster research progress. It's one of those technologies that it's not bad, but we don't really have it on our high priority list for the time being. Now, we actually could reasonably split the Navy in half at this point. And just have one cross over here. Because this should still be 100, right? Oh, yeah, the Navy's really strong. We could honestly split it up again, probably. But that way we can start getting more control by making the London point cheaper. Because if I go down to Cherbourg here, just going from the Thames to the Strait of Dover is really expensive. Mostly because... Oh, yeah. That's another thing I like here, too. The Maritime Presence tooltip right here, it tells you what the cost is with it and without it. So you now know how much Maritime Presence you can remove. I think that was always there before, and I just didn't notice it because we were playing a lot of more of the landlocked areas. But that is just one of those really good Paradox tooltips that I really like in their games. It gives you usable, easy-to-access information that is helpful in some way. Of course, then you have things that are not so helpful, like the alerts you can't clear, but they're fixing that in the next update, so... Look, you win some and you lose some, and unfortunately we can't just win everything over here. I wish we could, though. God, I wish we could. I don't think we're gonna get another disease anytime soon, but I want to kind of... Oh, Noble Regency. I want to kind of just shield London and the area around it. So, how long is this Regency gonna last? You're 13, so... Probably at least 2 to 3 years, roughly. Ah, cool. So we are from the same country, but different parts. So, Alba, we can't fight. We did want to go against Portugal, but I can't declare war now because the Lord's insurgency is high again. Well, this poor guy, he's just going around having to put down insurgency after insurgency so we can go start a war somewhere else, and then he has to clean up the mess. I love it. It's great. I'm going to cause more problems for him. In fact, right before we do go march off to war again... Actually, we're being called into a war right now. What? Wait. What? Wait. France is doing a show superiority war goal against Aragon, who is in our... Oh, God. Ah, great. So never mind about our alliance with Aragon, folks, because I don't want to fight France, because France is on our side. They're in our personal union now. Speaking of which, we can make a unified succession law, which we will, of course, work to pass. Okay, what is their combined navy like? I know it said that we can win, but that doesn't mean much. Because I need to know, like, what are their actual ships? They have 40 regular ships, but... Okay, it's not telling me here. I need to go over here. 22 light ships, 5 galleys. Oh, see, yeah, the Castilians actually have 10 heavy ships. I knew they were going to build a fair amount of them, mind you, but yikes. Well, actually, Need a lot more copper. Are there any other copper RGOs? There are, but they're kind of outside the marketplace. I was gonna say, because we kind of need more copper for our ship production and construction. So I should get a spy in Castile as well, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of Diplo spending just so we still have the points. John Thornton, the Dean of York. Prosperity in Windsor, leave him be. Nah, just add him as a character. Just take the historical route, so to speak. I guess what we might do is just kind of take the coastline of Portugal and Castile, because those will be a lot easier to control and it will cripple them. Especially with our increasing naval focus. They don't really have much of an army. It's just a lot of the army stuff is still levy reliant, which I'm not too keen on. But we could absolutely do it. I'm just delaying to try and get more cannon ready. Since that way we'll at least have some siege potential. Maybe I shouldn't have invested in all those hospitals. I should have dumped everything in the military. That would have been better, right? Who cares about feeding the poor? I need more guns. That sounds awful out of context. Let's get spy networks next. That way we can build them up a little faster for these wars. And then we'll get the Navy kind of linked up and ready to go. Because what we'll probably do is instead of landing straight into Portugal, we're just going to land around Aquitaine and invade through Castile. Mostly because we kind of want to cripple Castile. Portugal is actually the secondary goal. It's Castile that we want to cripple because they're a lot stronger. And they're the next major rival for colonization early on. So, we're just going to cripple them next. Yeah, no, I'd like to keep my communalism. There we go. Actually, can we build any troops over here? I'm a little curious. I assume not. No, I don't think we have any, like, recruitment stations over here at all. So, any recruitment we want to do still has to be done over here in England. Once this next set of cannon is ready, I think that'll be enough cannon to at least give us a good chunk of sieging. And then we're just going to have to raise some regular levies and bring them over as usual. There's still too many regular troops there, or too many levy troops they'll be able to raise. That'll be an issue. We need to be ready to kill those off before anything else. Once we have the Age of Discovery troops kind of fully formed up, it should be a lot easier, since they'll be double the size they are now. Okay, good. So that passed. We now have our first level. Question of unification is not going to be for a really long time, another 38 years. But we have the nice little addition that the French can't oppose us. Well, they can kind of still oppose us, but they just can't really oppose us well. I actually kind of have them off the coast over here. That way they're ready to go. And we're going to let one more month tick just to get all the funding to the fort and army ready. That way they've actually got morale again. And while they're still at war with Morocco, we're going to want to head in. It is going to cost a little stability, but our stability is really high. Like, we have plenty of stability right now. I'm not worried. We'll just do a selective raise. I could send the French to die for us, but I don't think the French would agree with that idea. So I'm going to send the English to die for their country. They'll be fine with it, don't worry. Yeah, I have thought about doing, like, a multi-episode series of 30 minutes of a video, but I feel like with Paradox games, there's just so much to show and do at once, and I guess I get so into it that I can go several hours in playing with it. I just haven't had the time to properly sit down and go through things until recently. Wait, is this what I think? Yeah. They want us to dig his body up because he's a heretic, to call him a heretic. Oh, that's funny. So it makes him an enemy? Exhumed and thrown into the river. Now let's let the man rest. I'm not gonna dig up a dead man's bones. That's just insulting. Did we get the ships from here this time? We did. Ooh. I like that. It can bring over the entire army in one go. It's so many transport ships. Actually, way too many. So then we are going to move down by land, but we'll have the naval ships come down and do a blockade. That way, the siege down here is easier, but it's also because by having any blockades going, you will usually start to generate war exhaustion at a much faster rate. Although, I don't know if it's... How much of that is going to be ports blocked? 12.93%. That's good. So they don't have any war exhaustion yet, but we'll let the next tick happen. Because now that some of their ports are blockaded, it is going to be a lot harder for them. And then what we're probably going to do is just split everything up in two. And unlike France, Castile is not going to be able to convince our armies to just randomly abandon us. Or our allies to randomly abandon us for no apparent reason. But as you can see, this army is moving really slow because of how massive it is. Since it's well over 40 units. So the massive amounts of troops I was making in the Russia game were probably not very good to do. So what we'll do is do this, split it in half, send some here. They're still going to be massive, and they're still going to be lumbersome and slow, but, you know, we'll get it done. We actually are kind of waiting for this fort to fall, though. Speaking of which, I should probably make sure these armies can actually leave new units behind, so they're not just leaving us with empty cases of territory. And then we're going to improve the army as well and a few stats. If we can cripple Castile before the race for colonization truly begins, that's going to be a nice win to me. Right? They don't really need to agree with us. We own them. And we're slowly going to centralize that ownership. Slowly. Because what's even great is that all the French subjects by extension can't oppose us. Oh, you're actually starving over here. Okay. Let's just focus on dealing with the Castilian troops then. There's actually no food over here at all. Oh. Yep, nope, just retreat here because they had no food, so they were starving quickly, chat, and then they just had no morale because of the starvation. 2 innovation, please. You do not have a leader, and you're also starving. Is there no food out here? I swear, the Castilians are just starving. There's no food. Or we took all the food, and now there's no food left. Oh, good, there's food again. Just had to wait for everyone else to leave, that's all. There we go. The initial losses we took kind of sucks, but we have about 3 times more troops than they do. 2 to 3 times as many. So while the losses we've suffered suck, it really isn't that bad compared to the amount they're going to suffer. Hey, the queen now rules. The queen will need to find someone to marry later, as soon as she leaves the earldom and comes over here. Should be another month tick. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. All right, there we go. Royal marriage. The Kingdom of Sweden. It wouldn't happen to be the ruler. Chat, methinks we might be able to get a Kingdom of Sweden in our cart. What other options? None of the other options are as good. I'll take that one. Yep. English-Swedish marriage union. Right away. We might get the Kingdom of Sweden and Norway into the Royal Union. Or into the English Union now. Yeah, having a strong vassal too will be good. Chat, I know my history and I'm pretty sure this isn't good. Like, I'm pretty sure this isn't good. Uh-oh. Hopefully she has a child extremely fast. Like, she needs to be with child by next month or something, or we're doomed. Even though that would be insanely fast. Oh. What? What? I'm sorry? What? No, we didn't click the wrong button at all. This is literally happening because we have no children. Because we were in a regency, so she couldn't even marry and start to have children. She was way too young by the game's really just in general, actually. So we couldn't do anything to avoid this because the trigger start time is in 1430 all the way up to 1500. So there was nothing we could do beforehand to avoid this. Short of just not having our ruler die when they did, which was not going to happen because they were old. Oh, yeah, maybe you actually want to have a right flank. That would probably be a good idea. So we do actually need to seize this part of Portugal, I just realized. Yeah. What is the army like? They only have about 9,000 units. Okay, we can make that work then. I mean, we're gonna have several thousand troops starve before we actually make it, but, well, should be fine. Oh, we ran into ships. What? Oh. Yay. It's hinting to us that the War of the Roses is about to start. So that'll be good. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. We had a civil war start somewhere. By civil war, I mean someone just kind of rose up with their own banner against us. Shouldn't be a problem, chat. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, it's a full garrison right there. Alright, let's raise a few loyal levies of France to defend their new homeland from these, violent, terrible rebel. Wow, that's actually a lot more than I thought we'd... What is our control right here? Oh, it's actually really... We actually have really good control. That's a lot more levies than I thought we'd be able to raise. Like, a lot more than I thought. Increase our control. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get some kind of just freebies. Is autonomy decentralization? Yeah. We'll actually take that this time. I usually don't take that. We'll actually take it. And siege. And that should kind of be that one done with. Yeah, Scotland could be fun. We've actually kind of, in the previous one, we won several wars against them, so they're pretty weak right now. We just haven't finished the job because France is guaranteeing their independence. I'm hoping that once we have a unified external diplomacy, it will break all of France's kind of guarantees. Wow, we took Lisboa pretty fast. I'm actually shocked at how fast we took it. Huh. Well, that bodes well for us. Does not bode well for Castile and Portugal, though. Oh, if I could get Castile into a personal union, that would be insanely good. Not that I can, because we don't have anyone to, like, marry off to with them, and vice versa. Can't do it for either of them, yeah. Although it would be awesome if we could. But we are winning this war now, at least. Also, I think Castile's war exhaustion has ticked up a bit. Not by a lot. It's actually ticked up very little. A lot less than I thought. Probably because most of their ports remained just free and not blockaded. Actually, bring them up here so we can blockade this port. That way, it'll go down a little faster. The expectations of Paris. Well, I'm glad they're coming around to the idea of being a part of the country. So where is this rebellion mainly? In these areas. Trying to find where the source of the rebellions are right now so we can kind of choke them out and get them to stop growing. They're kind of liberating the areas around us. And that's causing us to lose all of our food, so now we have no morale. If you see a situation like this, kill the enemy quickly. If they have no food and they're starving there with no morale, just nuke them. Don't give them a chance to take food from the countryside. Unfortunately, they gave us a chance to take food from the countryside, so now they've lost. Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, so... Oh, AI, I love you so much. This is why Castile is having a bit of an issue with some of its strength. Its capital's all the way up here, so this is where the bulk of its control is, instead of more centralized in the country. Oh, I love you, Castile, but you've kind of doomed yourself here on purpose. Maybe they just gave up and they wanted us to win. I don't know. Yay! 2 junior branches have started a civil war with each other. Oh god, 50? And it makes one of them the heir? How can this end, then? Oh. Ugh. I mean, we could just hope one of them dies, I guess. Oh god, you're 62. Why are they both joining the line casting pretenders? That doesn't make sense. You know what? I guess we'll just choose the distant cousin. I guess they'll just be heir for now because we don't have an alternative heir. For the time being. So technically there is no heir for France, but I think it's just because of the War of the Roses situation. I hope this doesn't break our union. Oh. What? What? I'm sorry, that was a bit too simple. The War of the Roses is already over and it can start again. Methinks someone needs to go over this event because I just lost 50 stability for nothing. Because I had 100, I had so much legitimacy still, chat, that it just immediately ended it. Except the problem is that we can now fall right back into it and lose 50 stability again. I'm starting to see why England has a problem in the 1400s in the game. It's starting to make some sense. Oh, we're starting to get war goal enforcement automation. Okay. I would personally like to cripple Castile more. But if I can take Portugal off the map, that might be the better call. I'm thinking just take all of Portugal's... all of this. Portugal can't do anything then. When it comes to like the Navy and stuff, they just can't do anything. So we'll just bully them a little longer. Which, I think that was it, actually. I think that's all I needed, because that gave us another tick. No, we're at -2 still. Okay, well, maybe just take some of the surrounding countryside or something. There we go, okay. Because this is already going to upset a lot of folks, but especially these two. But I think this is how we start. That way, Portugal will actually still have some naval access down here, because apparently that's where their capital is now, speaking of which. I actually thought Lisboa was their capital. Wow. I'm not paying attention to where the capitals are. I'm just making assumptions that the capitals are where they should be. Okay, there we go. That might actually give us a little more kind of claimage. I just want to see. Oh, that's 123. That's actually too much. Yeah. I mean, I can at least take this. Wait for that to finish claiming. Yeah, it looks like if the rest of that is allowed to just kind of flip over, we'll actually gain it. And we get the next era in a year. Let's make loans a little cheaper then. I'm just kind of waiting for these to... Yeah, there we go. Just tick over. We'll take all of this for now. And then, of course... Oh, we're still technically in a war, but... I am going to disband all of our levies anyway. All of our land levies. Our naval levy is still needed. Because we're technically still needing to finish this over here. But I think that's a good start. Ideally, we would have crippled Castile as well. But since Portugal is Castile's ally, crippling them is still pretty good. And then we'll just ship you back over to France. There we go. And we'll just take their lunch money while we're at it. Because we're just cruel like that. Now, our maritime presence has definitely dropped. Thanks to the fact that we didn't have the Navy up here at all. But the good news is that it won't completely fall because we have all of the various like little docks. In fact, some areas are actually fully sustaining or almost fully sustaining themselves. Thanks to all of our investments. We actually need, speaking of investments, I need to spend a lot of money. I'm throwing a lot of money at stability right now because I'm worried that the War of the Roses is going to fire a second time and just nuke our stability. It's also because the Age of Discovery is near. Actually, are we even using up all of our trade capacity? Not in London, but we are using it up everywhere else, so I'll let it slide for now. It can happen for the time being. So you should be roughly equal in your numbers, right? 12, 18, 12, 19. That's close enough. Close enough. So when she and the King of Sweden have a child, that should give us a new heir. You can join an order of chivalry. Which, of course, we'll do, because why not? She's also a law... Oh, I love the lawgiver trait. I love the lawgiver trait. -5 proximity cost is so good. Hey, more measles. Yay, said no one ever. Yes, and I do dearly apologize for the border gore that we have now conducted in Portugal, but I needed to cripple Portugal. I still can't colonize over here. I don't have the range. We really should invest. I just realized I should have invested into some counting houses instead of all those marketplaces. You know what? Let's do that, actually. I forgot I can just do this. All the ones that are not finished building, we're just going to remove some of them in London just because they haven't gotten their, they haven't maxed out yet, and we'll invest into more counting houses instead. Get our crown power up. Right now we're sitting at 28%, and I think that's with a lot of... No, these are actually nobles. Need to shift around the generalships a bit again. You're old, but we're gonna put you in charge anyway. And then you are actually... Okay, yeah, you actually have the crown. That's good. And the guy I just put in charge of the Admiralty is already dead. Well, if you didn't want the job that... Oh, wait, wrong person. It was the army, not the... We gave him a job and he just quit immediately. So I usually do the administrative focus for this because it has a lot of nice little bits. I might still do it because it's really good. Minus 10% building cost on top of minus 10% urban building cost is really nice. But if we want colonies, we actually kind of need the 50% trade, the colonial range. Also the trade range, arguably. Efficient spies. Counter. I still think administrative is better here, but I'm going to try diplomatic for this run. Just so we kind of try something different. I don't think I can get pike and shot. I don't think I have the requirements for it. Yeah, because you need land and we're naval. Paris has a chance to get the printing press, so we've got a decent shot at it. Of course, if we wanted to increase our chances, we would need to make more paper everywhere, which we'll probably need regardless. We're probably going to be needing paper at some point, no matter what we do. Route to the Indies might be a decent tech to do, but it's not really high on my list of importance. I'm kind of thinking Deus Vault for the religious. And then Navy morale at least. He's scared, right? EU5 starts in 1337. So, in the game's case, you do start with your capital in London. Oh, okay, the game just lagged a bit there because France is up to something. 5 research progress, thank you. It's the second rebellion against Castile. Oh, Granada's revolting against Castile right after we just beat the Castilian army to death. Also, let me make sure we're not running max tick speed. The game is just upset. Which, I understand. I understand that the game's kind of upset with us. But that's fine. I'm gonna let the game just kind of run a bit. Just to kind of let a few ticks pass here. That way we can get a move on. Also because I don't... Oh, you know what? I haven't done the claim throne yet because I don't know how this is gonna end. And also, Bohemia is kind of scary. But if we could, oh, it doesn't, it puts, see, that's the problem, though, is that it's not our heir that gets put on the throne. That's what I'm kind of holding out for, is if maybe we get our heir. I don't think we're going to get our heir, though, and we're just going to have to let it pass. I want nothing short of a guaranteed success in that regard. Speaking of which, though, we should have a lot more... Oh, these are all, like, down here, though. Oh, right, because the actual discovery of the New World requires a separate technology that we don't have yet. Oh, can we actually create a colonial charter over here now? Do we actually have the range? Oh, shoot, we do. The Castilians have already begun a lot of colonization. But we'll colonize, like, the islands that they haven't started. Even though I know it's going to be prohibitively expensive. Just because we could get at least one that doesn't have malaria, maybe. Now, the Age of Discovery makes it cheaper, too. I think Age of Discovery gives you colonial range as well. No, it's colonial maintenance. It does make you explore faster, though. Okay, there's no more War of the Roses threat. Ah, really? Egypt got the printing press. Oh, well. The good news is that Paris will at least have it spread quickly, and I think London, too. Yeah, London and Paris will both have it spread pretty fast because they could have spawned it. I wish we had spawned it because then the market would already be spreading it much faster because it would exist at the start. But this is a fine second. We're going to go ahead and cut down some of our Diplo spending here. Oh, yeah, actually, Diplo spending too, along with stability spending. Try to just start investing into colonies and the economy. Kind of just get these positions before... Oh, yeah, we got the New World. Sweet. Didn't spawn in London, it spawned in Canterbury. But that's fine, because, yeah, London's going to have a high rate of speed for it. Which hopefully slows down Castile's own growth in that regard. I don't think it'll stop it, though, but hey, if it slows it, it's good enough for me. Oh, man, they're still revolting over here. They don't like us. More scriptorums? I don't really want to build more scriptorums. We could always just invest into more RGOs, perhaps. The saffron, for example, has finally grown a bit, and it's actually so valuable, I would argue that it's actually better to just keep it rule for the time being. Trade Center sponsorship? It sounds fun, but I don't want to grant that. I might grant them a separate privilege, though. I actually need to grant the clergy a new privilege, because they're not hitting 100%. 0.2 communalism would actually be really good. Yeah, strength and faith. And then, do we want to give the merchants anything else? I mean, maritime presence wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, let's actually grant them the sponsored maritime contracts. Because that maritime presence is going to act as a modifier to everything that's generating maritime presence for us. It's only going to be 10% of what they were already generating. But it's at least a little bit more. Our island home, I love it. Plus, our focus into the Navy as well helps a bit more. That way we don't need as many ships kind of escorting everything. In fact, what is it like over here? We probably focus on getting this up really high. Where does that stop spreading to over here? I don't think it spreads down here at all. It's like its own sea zone. It's like its own area there. Yeah. Okay, well, while we're waiting for the technology to finish spreading to us... Oh, there it is, the Hulk. I was trying to figure out where it was. It's a bit late to grab it now. We could still grab it, but we're not in, like, this do-or-die war with France anymore. So I feel like we're kind of okay. I forgot to check how much of the Renaissance text we got done before it ended, but I think we got an awful lot of them done. So I'm not really that concerned about them now. Pike and shot and Asti. Not very surprising. We didn't really have the focus for it to begin with. It would have been amazing if we had it, but that wasn't going to happen. Let's get some more salt. That way we can salt the fields of our enemies when we take over their land. Not that we'd want to do that. We'd probably want to actually just take control of the land instead. In fact, I eventually probably want to make Walden a town, and once it's like near its population capacity, because then it can hold more people, and that will counteract the loss of turning it into a town. Let's see, as soon as we have the new world actually unlocked, we'll be able to explore more. Oh yeah, see, the printing press is already spreading in multiple locations, or already finished spreading in multiple locations. And that's all locations that could have spawned the institution. That's another reason why I try to make a lot of paper in a lot of areas. To try to just get the printing press to spread faster. Because then it'll spread more because of the nearby locations already having it. And it kind of just dominoes from there. It's not perfect, but it works. Yeah, I'll take a free university. Why not? Maybe build more stud farms. There's a lot of areas I could build it actually, but they don't really have control yet, so we might have to invest into that more, but there are several things we need to do more of that. Be it more ships, better roads, more roads, everything in between. Let's get Diplo range and then go for theaters until we actually gain access to one of our technologies. Of the Age of Discovery. Whenever they finally come around to it. Hello, doggo. How are you? Might build some more spinner guilds. The only reason why I haven't done more of them yet is because the price has gotten kind of low. Although a lot of areas have access to wool, so there's a good encouragement to make more of it for that reason exactly. Oh good, they found more areas alongside the coast of Africa. And now they're going to do more explorations. We're actually fighting the Mali Empire, which I don't care too much about, except for the fact that they have gold. And Russia is kind of still a hot mess. At the very least, the horde actually collapsed. So we have that going for us. Not really for us, more like it's just going fine for them. I hope you have a child soon. I'm just worried that you will never have one. We'll just stick with the aristocracy. I know that kind of gives us centralization. The minor tribe of Tyrone is now disloyal. Well, I knew we were going to upset them sooner or later. It was only a matter of time. There was no way they'd ever be happy with us. So let's get more docks going then. And wharfs. That's mostly just along the English coast, but there is some down here in Lisbon as well. We don't have any control over it yet. I'm hoping to get control there at some point. A lot of it is just, we really need to get maritime presence going. So maybe the next couple thousand of ducats we make, we just invest straight into the Navy. Just all of it into the Navy. Carax for everyone. I know it would be faster if I built them all one time in each area, but I think if I keep doing that, the spam of the noise is going to get a little irritating after a while. Did I actually want to use the CB on anyone? Alba is still protected by France, right? Yeah. I think I can do the next one now, right? Not yet? Well, we're 1 year off. I was close. I was close. Papacy still exists. Can I steal tech from them? It is still possible, yeah. Although, I think their ability to find our spies has increased. No, it's actually gotten worse. They only have a 1% chance now. So, of course, we are going to do Unified Treasury. We are going to just keep pushing this for their unification. And if all goes well, Sweden will be joining that. Ooh, they actually control a lot of territory there. So let's just keep going. We're actually getting some control over here despite the Stannery courts, which is pretty cool. I expected to have no control over here at all, so the fact there's any amount of control is actually a little surprising. We even have an actual amount of silver. I also love all these like little capital places at the start that have wheat, which is historical, but I like it because I don't have to worry about food as much because my capital just makes so much food that who cares? I don't have to worry about it at all. I also just realized now that King has become the first member, I actually have to go back and look at my memberships and be like, okay, what did I promise and all this, and have to start doing them now and then. So what, this trade impaired for 4 years? Oh, the River Thames has frozen over. It relocates the market. Don't do that. No, 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 no. We're not relocating it. We're not relocating it. We will just suffer. We will just suffer through it if we have to. Ooh, this has sugar. And what market are you in? The Foz market? How nice. Maybe we get people down there at some point. Just to process more sugar. But as it currently stands, it doesn't really have people. Actually, you know what we could build down here? We could build a settlement. And once we get a 4th cabinet slot, maybe bring people in down that way. How much sugar are you gonna make? Not a lot, obviously. Probably just up to 1. Yeah, that makes sense. That's how they all work, without any additional effects. We actually have a lot of stability now. We could probably cut the funding on it even more. Just enough to keep it stable, but that way we're kind of hitting the 200s for our finances. Yeah. Oh, thank you, King. That's fair. I do need to look over it again anyway, though, because I think one of the things I put in there included like a small shout out in the description of future videos. I might need to change that because I just realized I can't do that if I did that retroactively and went through like some 40 videos to add it to each one, that's a headache. I know a lot of people like edit it in at the end of the video, and that would probably be smarter. But that's fair enough. Let's see. Cannon, gunsmith, brewery. I'm surprised at what's technically profitable and what isn't. Cannon I'm not as surprised by. So what we're probably going to just do is more ships. And we'll just do it like this because we need lots of ships. They'll be building for years, but we're going to need them. Artois is threatening us. That's adorable. There's no malaria down here, right? Doesn't look like it. I guess it's further. Oh, yeah, it's these islands down here have malaria, I believe. I knew some of the islands here had malaria on them, and I was trying to remember which one had it. All right, we unlocked theaters. We still don't have access to the Renaissance yet. It's coming. It's just, it's a little slow going. Supply carts aren't a bad idea to grab. I kind of want to start moving down to construction speed, though. Although we could get the technology to make it cheaper to buy food. Not a terrible idea. Also might want to start spying in Castile more. They have a 25% chance to find him. My god. The 5th War of Rome aggression. Do I care? I mean, Aragon helped us before, and they would ally with us now, but I don't think I care too, because aren't they Castile's ally right now, and Castile's my enemy? Not at the moment. Not at the moment, but they were kind of leaning to them. So maybe we just let it happen. For now. Exploration started. Very good. Freethinkers, I love that event, Freethinkers Not Persecuted. Because for the next 10 years, we just get a plus 15% the monthly research progress. Our research progress is already over 2. We don't even have any of the Age of Discovery texts yet. Speaking of which, I know it's better to have the naval access for the stuff up here. I'm just getting the roads built because the roads will actually help us move troops up there, and it will actually help development by taking away, or not by taking away, by adding the has road part to this for benefits, which will be good, because if I go down all the way down here to where the roads already exist, has road is plus 25% to the prosperity bonus. So just squeezing out a little more prosperity. It's not efficient or arguably something to do, because arguably it's not going to help control that much. I just want to do it because why not? There's no good rhyme or reason to it. We're just doing it because we can. And that'll make our blockades more efficient. Oh, yeah, right. I forgot the, Right, because France got crippled so much, they aren't a hegemon in anything. In fact, the Great Wu Dynasty... Oh, wow, is China actually unified? 74 million people. I think China is actually mostly unified under an actual ruler. That's impressive. And then Bohemia has way more regulars than us. That's not really surprising, although I'm a little discontent by the idea. So we'll probably make more regulars ourselves. Yep, we'll answer their provocation with spears. Because we can. Also, because it's probably not a bad idea to be switching over to our regular forces. Also, we did enter the Age of Discovery. We could change local army organization over to something else. Black Chambers is never bad. Transportation code would actually be pretty decent. Colonial expansion, maybe, considering our goals. Asymmetric warfare tactics is never bad. The hostile attrition, you're just slowly bleeding your enemy. Or even just 5% tax efficiency. We did say we actually wanted to be decentralized given all the subjects. It's like, none of these are bad ideas. Actually, what are our taxes like right now? I assume they're a big chunk of our income. It's kind of the top 3 of our income. Yeah, we actually have a lot of tax on the lords, which I'm a little... I know why we have it, but I'm still surprised by it. I think, let's go ahead and change that to the Privy Council. I love how we have 4 of 3 reforms and I can just change them over like that. It just doesn't even ask questions. It's just allowed. I can just do that. No questions asked. And that's what, 11, so we could probably transport some of them over. In fact, I've got the ships right there. We could just do it this way, bring them up here to the north and kind of split the army up a little. Get rid of the snow map so people's eyes aren't on fire. What we'll just do is we'll just kind of split these guys in half. That was the wrong button. Just trying to keep it at 40 or below 40, but we're just trying to give them more melee or more infantry units so they can hold the line. And as the Privy Council comes into effect, we're going to slowly see increases to taxation. Barring any unexpected shifts from other sources, of course. It won't do too much, but it'll let us squeeze out just little bits more, piece by piece. So why are you suddenly more profitable? I assume it's because we're importing less now, but it's more likely the River Thames just kind of forced it upwards, that event firing, which I think is the real source. Okay, well, I could at least steal a map, I guess. Nah, I'd rather not steal a map. I'll wait. I shall wait. We will be patient. This time. Are there any, like, really good port areas here? There are. They're already kind of built up and set up, too. Coastal Fort Protected Harbor. Yeah, it's already pretty set up. We just... Ah, privateers exist. I see. I see. Oh, we'll start getting a couple ships over here so we can start building up a presence, but also maybe eventually chew away at the pirates, but I don't think it's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be a while before it's all gone. William Caxton. Ooh, a level 2 printers. Oh, he'll just give us 2 printer shops before we can actually build the darn things. His poor translation skills increases the number of foreign words introduced to the English language. I will admit, even if that text doesn't actually mean anything happens, I do find them amusing. They are rather amusing to me. So we already have 2 printer shops before I can actually even build them. Which you won't hear me complaining about because we could use them. And we're definitely going to want to build more universities to just increase that demand. Which, yeah, we could be building even more ships, but the shipyards are still busy. And in some cases, they'll be busy for another 2 years. What we do actually need is more manpower, I just noticed. We don't have enough for our army maintenance. So the next couple of gold ticks here is just going to be lots of armories. Or at least a couple more armories, because we do need them. And, you know, the French can die for the King of England, right? I can't foresee any issues with that in the future. Another rule of arrogant administrators. Our vassals are not going to be happy with us. That's what? That's 3.26% at the moment. With enough maritime presence, it should get a lot lower, yeah. Because right now it's kind of pathing this way through Brittany, but if I can get all of this to have really high maritime presence, it'll probably go around instead. The game is at least trying to take the path of least resistance for your control. The keyword is trying. Whether it will succeed is a entirely different matter. Pike and shot's already reached us. So it's reached Paris at least. So that's good. But it's going to be a while longer before it's actually said and done. Oh, they found the spy again already. And I missed my chance to steal the research again. I keep doing this. I need to stop doing that. I guess we'll just steal maps of Persia at least, so we can see what's going on over there for fun. Serbia is currently dying to someone. They are dying to Polish aggression. That's a little funny, actually. What is the French culture? I assume it's like Francian or something. Yeah, Francian, yeah. Oh, I was actually right about that. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think I would be right. The Unified Treasury is kind of funny, because in the end, they're just giving us like 2 ducats a month. It's actually like, it's just chump change. I'm hoping that once we can do the external diplomacy, that should at least make it to where, yeah, we can kind of like rein in their diplomacy. Which should make it to where they can't do that much. At least I'm hoping. We'll see. So many places to have parliament. We're just going to conduct a census. We're actually over 6 million people already, and if we can keep conquering, that'll grow. Should we annex Brittany? I'm wondering if I should do that. Given its location along the coastline, it would serve us really well. We might do that. We might look into annexing them. Irish patriots are really kind of kicking it up here still. Speaking of which, I noticed the Highland patriots are still kicking it off too. They're just sad about losing, I guess. What cultures could we... You know what, we probably want to tolerate Francian culture, actually, because they do make up 8% of the population now. Might even go as far as to accept them soon. But not right now. Portuguese is a maybe. The Irish, I just realized the Irish actually hate us. They view us as an enemy. So even just tolerating them is inherently difficult. That's kind of sad. But, oh well. Thank you, King. See you later, and you have a good day. And thank you for the compliments. Golden era for culture. Yay, 5 cultural influence. I find events like that funny, the 5 cultural influence one, because it's like, yes, your culture gained 5 influence, but it's just going to immediately be deleted because it can't be sustained. Unless it was already growing, then it's beneficial to you. But if it wasn't growing already, it doesn't really offer you anything of value. It doesn't change what you already have. Yeah, France would still join, but if we declare war on Portugal, it's only Castile that gets pulled in. Castile has a lot more troops now, but I assume it's because they've actually had time to recover and prepare. So any next war would just be using Portugal to pull Castile in and actually take Castile's northern coastline, which has a lot of fish, apparently. So when can I actually do the war? I could do it now, actually. Which I wasn't planning on, but we could very much do it. We do have a lot more ships now, so that is worth considering. And of course, the Portuguese fleet is pretty much decimated after we nuked it. So how are we looking here now, the pirates? They're still staying strong, but we're slowly getting more maritime presence. Slowly but surely. It is starting to bounce a little better. Control its inevitable collapse. Bridge will be destroyed. London Bridge is falling down. So, I mean, iron and stone is probably the most sensible. Although silver and gold sounds funny, but I can only imagine the pain that happens later on. Plus, 0.25 development is worth a lot more than a temporary 10 prestige that will be lost later. You know? Okay, let's see if we can start getting the Portuguese under control. And we'll start upping our spending in preparation for an invasion, another invasion of Portugal and Castile. Speaking of which, we can actually bring the army down here and get it set up. The regular half of the army, at least. Castile itself has some regulars, but they're a fraction of what we can field. And Portugal lost like a good fourth of its population, so whatever it can muster is not going to be enough. Random question, have we built any bridges in a while? We have not. So we'll get all those going. I just happened to see their bridge, and I was like, huh, do we have a bridge ready? We actually got construction done before any of the text finished spreading to us. It might be because we did some conquest of Portugal. So that might have bounced us back. Let's get the route to the Indies. Why not? Let's see. Who can we call in? No one. Unless Aragon allies us even if temporarily. Likely target of coalitions. They don't want to. Who would ally us? Only 2 countries. Sweden, which makes sense, and Luxembourg. 27 and still no children. That's slightly concerning. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's no way we'd go all the way to the end with no child, right? I could see that happening, actually, but I hope it doesn't. And then this time, we are actually going to have the French die for us instead of the English. Because I need to preserve at least a little bit of our culture, even though some of the pops here are now English because the English pops have been growing. But that's okay. It'll be fine. So let's make that one a little stronger. And then these 2 ships will actually be together like last time. That way they'll be able to kind of watch over the area. Get you over here. They should be besieging our Portuguese territories right now. Or at least getting ready to do so. Yeah, there's 1 siege. Which isn't that surprising. And then we'll just split them up in half. And I know Castile can raise a lot of troops, but I'm trusting that our regulars will be more than enough. Plus, we're going to be in a pretty small, focused area at the start. Oh, there's that. Actually, there's their whole army right there. See if we can't get in time. Yep, we got in time. I think we win this. Yeah. Our side took about as many casualties as theirs since we got into the fight late, but we knocked them back, which is good. Might have to raise more levies and bring them over. Or just train up more men-at-arms. Already over the cap to begin with. There's no reason why we couldn't just train more at this point. Once these 2 forts fall, though, we'll move in. Oh, I probably should help the allies there, but I want to get these You know what? Send these guys, because this siege is going to be finished. Okay, yeah, they didn't arrive in time, but I'm going to let the siege finish anyway. Yeah, they just barely lose that. Oh, we actually got a good trade out of it, at least. So it's not a complete loss. Got 1 good trade out of it for the army. Let's actually grab deployment tactics or Navy initiative next. Okay, so clicking on the battle with a right click does not send your army marching to it if they can reach it. Good to know. It's one of those things I forget about now and then. Okay, we can actually embrace the printing press. And I need to go ahead and greatly increase stability spending now because we're going to go negative stability here in a bit. Here's what we'll do, because we're about to get the Age of Discovery too. We will do the printing press tech for max literacy. Oh wow, the techs are in a much different spot compared to the other ones. Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, sorry. We're gonna do that and then probably go straight to New World stuff. Although, oh, there's a cabinet seat here. Actually, we'll get the cabinet seat first. Because that means being able to do more things at once, which I do need to do. Sure, I'll take your money. Why not? Oh, oh, they thought we were coming to help them. I forgot to help my allies. Send one there, send one this way. Whenever that lag spike happens suddenly, I'm always in fear that we just got war decked, because that's usually what happens. But nothing of the sort happened. It's just stuff going on in the background. We lost 2 galleys and a heavy ship. Oh, but we also captured a heavy ship, so we didn't really lose that much then. Okay, we're fine. There are no issues going on at all. Do I need to research the New World itself to actually do the discoveries? No, it's a different research. It's probably a research over here. Yeah, open sea exploration. There it is. But we should at least get the cabinet slots so we can integrate more territories at once. That would be better for us. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of these new territories we're taking that we can't really move. I'd rather eat the stability cost. He's got really good stats. Let's reopen the supply line here so they don't die. Oh, right! Union policies. We could... Oh, yeah. We could do assured offense to where France has to join our wars of aggression, but we have to remember that's kind of a... That's a double-edged sword. France can use it against us, too. Maybe let's do duty for offense. That way we can kind of work around it a little. And just yank France into these wars of aggression on our behalf. I was gonna say, you're not attacking my army for a reason, right? Like, you can't beat it. Or at least you think you can't. Yeah, there we go. The casualties didn't favor us as much as I was hoping, but it did favor us. Do need to eventually get over there and take territory. We are going to probably bleed money for a bit now due to all the spending. Building maintenance costs are through the roof as well. Although that's definitely all the armories we built. So we'll get a couple more gunsmiths going without going overboard. Oh shoot, we actually found an enemy army by chance. I didn't even mean to do that. We just found them by sheer chance. I think they barely win this because we're rolling poorly on the dice. And this is mountainous terrain. Not quite, but it has a river, which, you know, rivers are not good. Oh, we don't really have the manpower to recover either, do we? No, we don't. Okay. I mean, the good news is that neither does Castile, so what we'll probably do is just raise more levies. Not that there's many I can raise from if I don't want to do it from England proper, so... England proper is probably going to have to send troops soon. Yeah, because this is like 600. Okay, you do not have any food there, so I wouldn't even bother sieging it right now. Let's have you lift this siege. You come back over here to resupply. Oh, and suddenly there's a lot more enemy troops here. Got caught out by that. That's the downside of having all my troops separated, is that if they catch us off guard, our guys kind of die. Why can't I buy this? We're slightly short on gold. I'll wait the month tick. I'm not going to take out a loan for it. That'd be silly. Oh, wow. Oh, man, we're just getting all the negative penalties. Yeah, topography, vegetation, and river crossing, -3. That is brutal. And yet, by sheer chance, we barely won it. Okay, at this point, I have to face reality that we've taken too many casualties and need to raise the masses. But yeah, we're fighting in a lot of bad terrain territories, and that's why we're losing a lot more troops than you'd think. So we'll research all the way down to our cabinet slot, and then we'll research straight to overseas exploration. That's what we'll do. Get these guys ready at Hastings. Bring over almost 21,000 new troops. Oh, right, you actually can't raise them. You can't take them all yourself. I have to actually raise some regular fishing boats as transports. Oh, is it just barely? It's short by 1,000. I'm trying to, like, be minimalist with what I raise, and it's just not enough. Okay, possible offense is now active. Very good. Catholic Church proposals. I'm kind of just ignoring a lot of those Catholic Church proposals. They don't really matter that much to us because they practically always pass in the end, so I kind of just ignore them. Let's give you a random leader, and we'll just wait for him to kind of come over. Okay, there we go. Now they can just lift the siege without us having to stop our own siege. They're actually doing really well, too. Wow. I guess the bright side about controlling the area is that the Castilians are the ones suffering instead of us. 10 max literacy. Gambia is getting some... Oh, it's the sea part of Gambia. Okay. I misunderstood that as the land area. Oh, we do need to kind of reach Portugal here. Oh, can we just run through this? Oh, because we have a fort right here, it negates some of the control there. Okay, yeah, just run them through it then. To heck with it. Might as well, right? They'll starve a little bit, but it's fine. We'll just keep sieging the Castilians and wiping out their army. Of which they are now at less than 10,000. And they just lost almost another 1,000, so... They're having fun, I assure you. Let's liberate Columbria first, and then we'll just siege an area adjacent to the target to reset the white piece imminent timer. Because it'll consider it contested, which will reset the timer. Because right now we're at 300 some odd days. This should be the area, right? Yeah, this should be the contested zone. Oh, shoot, my mistake. I'm targeting the wrong zone. I was like, why hasn't it done it? I know what I'm talking about. Well, that's because I'm targeting the wrong area. Goodness. So once we take that, that should remove the timer. It did. Actually, just by putting our troops there, it removed the timer. We didn't even need to start a siege. Just having the troops in the tile is enough. Speaking of which, what is Portugal's war exhaustion at? Because we could probably spike their war exhaustion since their only ports are right here and it wouldn't take too much to blockade them. Oh, you have no... Right, you don't have any cannon. Of course you don't have any cannon. So, they're now 52% blockaded, which should start increasing their war exhaustion and just make it harder for them to fight back. Not that they really can at this point, but they have the most troops left. Yeah, their war exhaustion is starting to tick upwards. Not quickly, but it is ticking upwards. So, good use of the ships. And then we're just leaving these 31 heavy galleys over here, the early Carracks, to try and... Oh, well, first off, the pirates are gone now. We managed to get rid of them because the rest of the navy was down here, which is very good. But we're also trying to increase our maritime presence so that more of our French possessions have better control, and then later our Portuguese and Castilian holdings. You know, we're planning for the future and all that. Yeah, I don't if we can hurt them hard enough here, I don't think Castile will be able to come back from it. Are they under an itinerant court? Is that why their court's moving around? Because it's moved again. I'm actually curious. Oh yeah, there it is. They have the itinerant court. That's why their capital keeps moving around every time we look at it again. It's because it is moving around. So the good news is that we're not crazy. Feels like we're crazy, but we're not crazy. +1 diplomatic capacity will be very helpful. Let's build a couple spinner guilds, but not too many. Then maybe more counting offices way up here. Just to get more control, not control, get more crown power. Although more control would help too. We're at least able to sustain a good amount of crown power now, despite not having full command. Actually, I don't even think we have the cabinet, do we? Oh, we do. He hasn't died. I thought he had died of old age already. He hasn't. That's good. Oh, I can't wait to build a permanent parliament so it doesn't ask me where I want parliament. Yeah, I'll take expanded armories. I know we're okay on our manpower right now, but I'd like to have more of them. Support innovative ideas, yes. Local legal reform. Benefits a single area and nothing else. The 5th and 6th lack food, but the others don't. That's weird. Are you just unable to hold food, maybe? I'll just disband you then, because you're too small to keep using. Nice. So we're at -0 right now because we need to take the objective still. They've got a good 25 defense ticking. But once we have the other fort there knocked out, we should be fine. Castile, on the other hand, is probably just not happy at this point and is willing. Yeah, they're willing to kind of separate peace. The problem is that taking anything from Castile separately is really expensive. It's going to have extra costs associated with it because they're not the original attacker or defender. And I believe that still holds true when you're taking everything from in the main treaty, and that is true. So we'll probably, because Castile is not our main target, we'll probably just focus on taking a smaller chunk. Maybe kind of like this? Yeah, maybe something like that. Although I'd rather get their coastline, honestly. Yeah. And then that bit, just so it's all unified instead of looking weird. Unless... it would give us some of their territory. Yeah, let's do it. So that knocks Castile out of the war. And it takes a bit... It's not the developed area of their naval possessions, but it is less coastline for them to use. Which is something. We're trying to deny them just total access to the sea. Eventually, the Iberian Peninsula will bow to the English crown, just as the French crown has. And hopefully soon the Swedish crown. But, chat, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little concerned. Our ruler's 32. She's been married for 16 years now, and there's still no children. I'm starting to get a little concerned here. Because, there is no heir for France, and I'm just a little concerned here that we might end up losing it because of just sheer chance, which is not great. Because they should be under the same one. They are, but yeah, that's... Oh, that would be really worrisome if we just don't get an heir at all because of something in the code that's going on, or just sheer... Because after 16 years, we should have had at least one child. The fact we haven't had one is really strange to me. Oh, I didn't even realize we went into debt. I wasn't paying any attention there. Well, hopefully the War of the Roses didn't bug it out. If the War of the Roses bugged it out, that's going to be really sad because... that kind of defeats half the purpose of the 100 Years' War. I mean, if it just keeps France temporarily neutered, that works too, I guess. But I'd rather it be permanent. And I'd like to get Sweden and Norway into it as well, but we'll see. Okay, let's cut our stability spending right now. Oh, it's because of our cost of court. That's what it is. I knew something was spiking our expenses. I just didn't know what it was. Yeah, we'll have to just sit on it for now. It's a lot of wartime expenditure. Which will hopefully go away soon. Or shortly, I should say. Oh, did they retake this while I wasn't paying attention? Ah, right, because you're not reinforcing the garrisons, of course. Yeah, so... Of course they retook it without issue. And they fully resupplied it, too. Oh, we'll get some cannon over here and quicken the pace. Oh, we're now the military hegemon, so that means Bohemia just lost troops somewhere, I guess. Because otherwise that doesn't make any sense. Let's deal with the Portuguese army. I'm begging you, have at least one child. They could have the worst stats possible. I just need one, please. You have 7 years before the cutoff date, to my understanding of game mechanics. Oh, we have a bailiff. Oh, gone now. Probably could have kept the bailiff around. I just wanted to destroy it because the game gave me the opportunity to do so. So, you know, why not? Bring some of them up here, crush the army, leave some of them behind to keep the siege going. Oh, they're just kind of running around us now, actually. Take the rest of this. Can I actually make Portugal a subject? I could make Portugal a subject, chat. I just need to take their capital. And everything else, of course, but the capital is the most important part here. Actually, their capital's not even defended. It has no fort on it, so it's actually really easy to occupy. I would still probably want to cut off their access to the sea, though, so we'd have to take some forts. That way they don't make any colonies. They might still be able to make colonies just by being landlocked, though. I haven't really tested that out, so I actually don't know. I guess I'd want to use a theftdom. It's 41. I guess just make you a theftdom, right? Yeah. And then that angers a lot of people. It angers a lot of people, but it doesn't knock it. It knocks almost no one over 50. The only one it knocks up massively is Castile, who already hates us. And France is in a personal union with us right now, so they can't oppose us. That could change, though. It could change later on. But for now, Portugal is subdued. Thank goodness. And then we're going to get you guys on the boats and get you out of here. Bring them all the way back up here. So there we go. Portugal is now subdued. It is part of the English crown by association. I'm increasingly concerned that we are going to lose the French crown just by sheer RNG. Because they're kind of just not having any children with each other at all. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. And it's not like some game thing of, oh, they're in 2 different countries, so they can't have children. That would... I mean, I suppose that's technically possible, but I feel like that would... I mean, shoot, that would actually explain why we're not having any children. Maybe we give up on Sweden, then. I didn't think of that as the possibility, but shoot, I guess it's possible. I need to go... Not influence actions. I need to go to the papacy. I can't even ask for a divorce because they don't like me. Do I have to bribe the Pope to end my marriage? I could also wait, but I guess bribing would be faster. I don't think them being in different countries is why it's not happening gameplay-wise, but technically that would make sense, so I think I'm gonna have to, just give up Sweden, even though the personal union, you know, the marriage union, it'd be really nice to centralize it into the rest of the English union. But we're at risk of losing the French union now, and I can't afford that risk. Okay, so... We just need to marry someone who will be brought over to us. Okay, there you go. Marriage union disbanded. And hopefully, because they're now in the same area, you will actually have a child before it's too late. That's kind of putting me on edge that I may have just doomed us when it comes to having France. But we'll find out, I guess. Sir Robert de Grey has died while exploring. Someone else has taken his place. And they shall now continue his explorative footsteps. Yeah, we'll just do it, Brittany. Why not? That way it's at least cycling. At this point, I might just let the Highland Patriots revolt, just so I can put them down. We already know exactly where the rebellion's going to be. And I don't want to switch off the Lord Insurgents, who are equally annoying in their own way. So we'll kind of just pop them there, split the Navy in half, and send it on its way. Might have to just build a transport-based fleet. Yeah, I think that's what it was, is that they weren't having any children because they were in two completely different countries, and I think the game does actually account for that. Because in most royal marriage cases, the person you're doing it off to, like, the heir kind of just goes out to their country, and then later comes back to rule, and you already have children. It's either that, or we're getting a freak accident of having absolutely no luck, where she's just not having a child, despite having the capability to have one. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll try to see. Are there any bridges we can build, actually? I know we built a bunch earlier, but I'm just curious if there are more we can build now. No. What about libraries? Yes, surprisingly. A lot of libraries, actually. Which means there are temples we can build. And then, of course, more accounting offices for more crown power. Wherever they are cheapest. Tailor guilds are still not doing well, but they'll learn to live with it, I suppose. How are we doing on diplomatic income? Portugal is actually giving us the second most. Cool. She's known as the dubious. That's funny. Oh, yeah. No, there we go. Finally had a child. Okay, yeah. So, that's what it was. They weren't having children because they were in two completely different countries, and I nearly doomed us. I nearly made it to where we would lose. We might still lose France because it's not showing them on here for some reason, and that's concerning. Oh, is it because it hasn't switched them over as the heir yet? Yeah, weird. It's picking the Earl of Lancaster still. So, I mean, it should switch over to the son now that they exist. They were just born. Oh, interesting. Oh, Alba, like, fully joined this rebellion. The problem for Alba, though, is that they didn't take any actual territory. So this is like a full-on war that we can just abuse. Fantastic. So, score for male, score for legally male, score per A's, designated heir, ruler's choice. Can I change that? Huh. That's not good. So, thanks to the War of the Roses, it designated him as the heir, chat. And that's actually a problem. I might have to change our succession law. Is it just only him no matter what? Yeah, he's like the only one in all of these lists. Shoot, so are we just gonna lose France regardless? I hope not. That would really suck if so. Oh, I don't like that. Is there a different one that I can switch to that would let me switch it, maybe? Favorite son succession, maybe. That might allow me to, like, force an appointment. I'm gonna do it, and we'll just see, because right now it's not letting me switch. I know that puts us into a lot of negative stability, which is not fun, but we'll get through it, trust me. We'll be fine. We'll go into some deficit spending, probably, with it. Or at least pop it onto there. I mean, favorite son succession's not a bad law to have anyway. It just lets you choose someone over something else. No, you're still on the cognatic. Although that's probably fine, honestly. Because score for male and legally male works fine on its own. I don't know. I switched to favorite son, hoping it would let me kind of just appoint Richard here, but still not. I mean, we'll see. Maybe when he's old enough, it'll allow us to do it anyway. No, I'll take the 10 in innovation, please. Thank you very much. I would much rather have that. If we make Alba a subject, we could actually form Great Britain. That would be really nice. Okay, yeah, we'll deficit spend for a little bit here. -1 expected cost to court. That's nice. Ah, there's a little crossing here, so I don't have to wait. Excellent. Can we make you a subject? We could make... 213. It's a bit too expensive. Although it might just be because they have forts all over the place. Which would increase the cost. Okay, that's one less fort. The cost dropped a bit, but I feel like the cost is going to be a bit too high. War scores. That's probably because... No, it's actually an independent... No, it's actually -25. I guess they're just really expensive in general. Well, we'll just take as much as we can then, so the Scots have even less strength to work with. I don't like how it's not changing it over. Minus 141 because of all the cutting off it does to them. It's funny. Oh god, yeah, it's actually really expensive to take a lot of their stuff. We'll see what forts we can seize to just make it easier to invade them next time. This right here is already costing us 91, and that's probably like the bulk of their control zones. So, unless I can take just a fort, which I can, yeah. We'll leave it at that. And then we'll cut all of our expenditures here, or at least most of them. The Navy still needs its money. I still think favorite son is not a bad succession law. I think it works, just because it lets us designate one person over the others. But I'm a little worried it may have broken our succession system with France. Although, it looks like the 100 Years' War might be what actually broke it. Or, no, sorry, not that, the 100 Years' War. Jesus. The War of the Roses. I'm getting my wars confused. Because it automatically designated them from the event. Which, I'm not sure if that's good. Worst case scenario, we have to fight France again and just cripple them further. We've at least pacified them and made it to where they don't resist our murdering of their allies and neighbors who were once on their side. So, yeah. We will have to spend some time stabilizing, though. At -28 stability, the estates get really upset. You start to lose some tax at that point. We've definitely lost some tax because diplomatic income is really up. How's our control doing? It's still awful up here. That's not really surprising. It's still really bad down here, but I think these areas are still considered... No, they're actually considered integrated. Then increased ties to neighbors, support the state, new hunting grounds. I guess ties to neighbors might be something we can utilize. Exploration cost is kind of up there, huh? And so is the cost of court. That one's actually not really surprising. I'll actually drop that a bit while Parliament's in session so we don't go bankrupt. Because otherwise we will go bankrupt. Tunis is there. Morocco's kind of starting to colonize inward. Oh, there's Benin. Man, we're getting all these revolts. Thankfully, the Pale should be able to put down that revolt without us interfering. So, I don't think we actually need to step in. Yeah, they'll be able to deal with it on their own. We didn't really fortify the area. It has some forts, actually. Okay. Guess they'll deal with that for us. Our legitimacy's almost back up. Yeah, it's not gonna let us designate him, is it? It's gonna force lock it, I think. Might be because he's too young, though. Oh! I see. So we finally got a child, only for it to be out of wedlock child. And it wasn't even from, yeah, it wasn't even from you, so it wasn't something I did. That's why I can't designate him. That's why I didn't choose him, because he's, So, I think we're just gonna lose France by RNG, which kind of sucks. We'll deal with it, but that's gonna hurt when it happens. Although we at least broke France's alliances with everyone else, so it's a lot harder for them to help now. Or at least help people oppose us. Yeah, minus 44. They have to take some forts first. But we can let them handle that. They don't need us. So, which also means switching over to favored son was unnecessary. It's because it's not allowing the other one to be chosen at all. And I can't believe the only child she has, and they can't be an heir. Like, that is just like some awful luck that leads to the War of the Roses in the first place. But we got the War of the Roses. Actually, that's exactly why we got the War of the Roses, really. Goodness gracious. Well, if we're going to lose France, then we're just going to have to murder Castile as much as we can to where Castile can't help France effectively. Because France is going to slowly annex other people, like their subjects in the Netherlands, and regain some strength. Although we have more pops than them now, and our tax base is higher, so we should be able to fund an army. It's just Bohemia is going to be a problem at all times. Did you go back to Catholicism? You did. That's why you're the Holy Roman Emperor. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing for us, because it means they're having to pay more cost of court. Well, not that much more. Just because it guarantees that they're always a great power, so they're going to have all that to spend. Oh, the Border Reavers event. I haven't seen that in a bit. Yeah, I'll take the 5 legitimacy. We need to get this maxed out. And once we have the cabinet seat, we'll start doing the exploration to try to get to the New World before anyone else can reach it. It's not the most efficient of what we have available to us, because there are other ones I'd like to grab. I'd like to get the paved roads, although we are working on our Navy area instead. I'd like to get cabinet laws. There's a lot of other things I'd like to grab first. We actually are able to unlock pike and shot, but we haven't done it because of our stability. Though we're probably going to grab it once we can anyway, just so it's available to us. Okay, let's integrate more of up here. And before France breaks free... Oh, shoot, France still has their guarantee despite the external diplomacy? And Hungary has a marriage union with Alba. That's kind of annoying, but Hungary doesn't have a navy, so... Like, yeah, on the one hand, they'll join the war against us. On the other hand, unless they plan to walk all the way over here and walk on water, they're not really going to get that far. So, can't say I'm that concerned by it. Annoyed, sure. Concerned, no. I know it's going to dump our stability back down, but I can't give up the monthly research progress it'll give us. We are going to embrace pike and shot now, because that'll be at least another, like, 0.05, 0.06 monthly research progress. Just getting all those technologies out a little faster. So any deteriorations that occur will be warded off. And then we're going to head straight for that new world tech. The Canary Islands were still colonizing. We at least own some of it now. Although the Portuguese are also colonizing the island, which is not great, but they're our subject now, so I guess who cares? Since they're our subject. Building cannot function if it has no market access. Really? I see. That's kind of unfortunate. Can you even build a wharf here? No, because you're a rural settlement. So you have no market access at all. So, really is good for nothing more than an outpost. And that's it. I can't even point a random family member, so I'd rather just leave that unattended. Ooh, look at all that cabinet efficiency. 42 already. That 20 for the Knight's Companion is really nice. I don't want to give the nobles any additional privileges. They're over 40% still. That would be not good, as one might call it. Are any other colonies we could do? Cape Verde, but that has malaria. There's also Maghreb, which Castile is colonizing, which, funnily enough, has malaria. I'll colonize there just because Castile is colonizing there. Actually, you know what? We'll colonize the Canary Islands. Why not? People will die, but it's a small price to pay for something. I don't know. The constant death of people to malaria, I suppose. Thanks to their seemingly endless exposure to it. Oh, are the pirates back? Oh, no, these are different pirates. Oh, their pirates were over here. I see. That's a little weird, like, this Brittany Sea Zone is treated as the same as the rest of them. I'm not giving the Pope more money. He already has enough. I need more money. Why would I give the Pope more money? Ah, yep, see, there we go. This port we have in Western France is now going entirely through maritime travel to be reached instead of bouncing through Brittany. We've managed to make a faster route. It's got 30% proximity now. Still not great, but it is definitely better than it was earlier on. Get a couple roads around it so it can be utilized as a bit of a branching point. New World Research, Diplomatic Range, Colonial Range. Now, that doesn't let us do the open seas yet, but it'll allow us to explore further away, which is nice. Should we just declare war on... I can't really declare war on France. I don't think it'll let me, right? Yeah. I was saying, let's just, like, take them out before they leave kind of thing. Unless the game forces them to come along anyway, despite there being no... See, it says there's no successor because it can't choose the... It can't choose the designated heir from the event because they're not the son or daughter of the ruler, even though they're considered a member... Oh, they're a ruler in the Earldom of Lancaster. I mean, if I deleted that, would that help? Not that it matters. I can't annex it in time. Actually, we could try it. Actually, would say it wouldn't be very long. And getting more of England proper under our control might be a good idea. See if there's anything I can do to kind of make them happier faster. Scootage doesn't. I know we can... Seeing loyalist support. That none of it will do that. No, I think we just wait. a couple of months. Oh, or I just get an event that does it. That works too. I need 150, not 130. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, give them some gold too, I suppose, and then we'll just sustain the relationship. Because I'm wondering, maybe if I annex them, it forces him to come to my court, or be a part of the court, and then maybe the game will consider it. But we also should arguably start getting some annexations going in England proper to begin with. Especially because some of these areas do have English or Northumbrian, which are accepted cultures or our primary culture. So, no bad idea. At least get England proper to be all under our control. I'm sorry, what is that? A spiritual retreat? Well, good for you. Doesn't do me any good. But I'll wish you well regardless. For no apparent reason. Alright, who wants another town? I think we should. I think it's time for more towns. It's definitely not time for more towns, but what can you do when your stability's in the red? Oh, apparently Austria still technically exists. Somewhere. Because it technically said that the Duchy of Austria was still around, but I'm not so certain about that. France would help attack Aragon, who's allied to Castile, but France won't help attack Castile specifically as the main goal. Oh, you just gotta figure out who they're willing to hurt. And then who will come help protect the person that you're trying to hurt. Oh, we have slow negotiations rolled. That's nice. I cannot believe the only son you had cannot become heir. And I don't have an action that I can take to accept them anyway at, like, a big cost. Like you could do in Crusader Kings. This is the father? With your cabinet member? You had 2 husbands. Okay. I'm just slightly fed up with our current ruler. She has caused me nothing but trouble. To think, I really liked her because she was a lawgiver, and now I wish we never had her. That's quite a turn of events, if I do say so myself. Let's say maybe they don't have like the protected dockyard over here, and I can build that. Or the protected. Oh, they actually have the protected harbor in some of them. Okay. I guess we'll get all these fish built up then, at least, so Lisbon can actually feed itself. No, sorry, I'm just reading all the different names. Should keep going. 1860, we'll see. Okay, I was gonna end it now, but we're gonna go on a little longer and annex Lancaster to see if this actually fixes our issue with France or not. That way we kind of have a definitive answer before we end it. That way we at least know before we end it. Oh, we can attack Alba. All it takes is just making France upset with us. Good thing we have plenty of forts. Portugal has joined the Portuguese independent movement, so I probably don't want to let the Portuguese patriots actually revolt here. That could be a definitive issue later down the line. And although I might not be able to afford it, we'll actually spend on some Diplo spending. Just kind of make Portugal loyal, because then they'll fall back out of this independence movement. And the money they're giving us will kind of cover for it. I mean, 42 ducats is a lot, so they're not fully covering it. But we'll just kind of push them out of it a little bit slowly. I wanted to increase our control, but I don't have the money for it, so we'll just use this parliament as like a 6-month campaign to raise money. So we've got about a year, and then we'll see. Alright. How are the markets doing? Edinburgh and Paris are over 50 now, which is nice. London is suffering. Can't even use most of its trade capacity, but the other areas can. Probably because these areas are importing a lot of various goods, or they have access to other markets that they're trading with. I think London just can't find a trade route aside from selling saffron. It's like all they can do is sell saffron. They don't know what to do beyond that point. You know what? Tanneries. We do need tanneries for all the armories and barracks is going forward. So a lot of those getting built would actually help in the London market. Because our biggest building expenditure is definitely the armory. Yeah, 33 ducats. Oh, that's 33 ducats in just the London market. That's not even counting armories in other areas. Okay, so we can now start exploring. And I'm actually going to just manually set some of these exploration points up. Just because I want to get it going. Even though it's going to cost us a lot of money. That way they'll just get started now. Because we want to win the race. Oh, we can align France's legislature with our own before they leave, so that way they get forced to adopt our stuff instead of having their own independent items. Might need a natives policy as well, given the colonization we're intending, plus the colonial charter boosting is good. Honestly, proximity cost to port, maritime decay, those are all good to grab. But, see, I don't know, there's a lot of good technologies over here, actually. Quest for the New World, bent to westward. I mean, yeah, let's grab these. And the rights of the burghers, too, just so I can boost our production efficiency a bit. And then when that's all done, I want to get over here, get the paper and print shops, get the cabinet law. It's not how I usually do this, but I usually don't get New World unlocked this soon. It's usually not till like 1480, 1490, I feel like. Because it takes time to spread to you. But in this case, we got it a lot sooner. So explore this current as well. And send a young one, that way they don't die. It'll bite into our expenses, but we'll be okay. Just gotta boost our stability research a bit more. Our diplomacy, we're getting over 110 ducats from our subjects right now, chat. And Portugal is actually giving the most, followed by Aquitaine and then Brittany. It's very nice. You're also... Oh, careful is not how I would describe you after what you did. You have jeopardized our hold of France. Careful is the last word I would describe you as. Now, there we go. They're going to explore the two streams. That will take them, it looks like about 2 years to kind of explore through it. That doesn't get us straight to the New World, but that will give us progression. Okay, Lancaster's been annexed. You're our heir. Does that... Oh, see, the thing is no, because allowed states nobility and crown. What are you considered? You're considered noble, so that should be counting. Oh, but you're a different dynasty. Yeah, see, that was what I worried about, is that you'd be a different dynasty, and then it's not going to consider you. At the rate this is going, you might die right afterwards. So there's no way for me to... Because children, siblings to ruler through female lines. Siblings of ruler, children, male. Yeah, so there's just no way to fix this. We're just doomed. That kind of sucks. Yeah, Winchester can have one. Why not? Yeah, so, then, that really sucks then. So, because of the War of the Roses, we're going to lose the English Union with France, unless it just forces him onto the throne anyway, but it's saying there's no heir to the throne, so I don't see that happening for France. So I just can't see that happening at all. And there's basically nothing I can do at this point. The only way to truly do something about it, I would need to get them to be under the succession law there, but it's not going to happen because he's not He doesn't meet any of the requirements. He's a designated ruler of the... or designated heir of the ruler's choice. I was hoping that annexing Lancaster would fix it, but that didn't fix it either. I was hoping she'd have a child, but the only child she had was out of wedlock, so they can't be a ruler. They can't be an heir at all. It won't let me, and there's no action I can take on her or on him to change that. There's nothing I can do in the succession law either. He is the only candidate in every single one, unless we're having Salic law. But that requires us to have a specific language tech, which we can't get. It's something completely different from what we are. I mean, annexing Lancaster is still good in my opinion. We wanted to do it, and because that'll give us some maritime presence over here by just having that sea area occupied by us in Liverpool. Oh, we can build peel towers here. That's cool. Because you get like your coastal forts, you get your protected harbors and all that. But yeah, so it looks like despite taking France, we are going to eventually lose it, which means we just need to beat up Castile as much as possible. Just as much as we possibly can before we lose them. Before it becomes too late. No, I think I'll just take a map, actually. Yeah, there we go. We've got more discovered over there. Okay, yeah, it's starting to do the other explorations for us. That's good. And bend to westward. Oh, yeah, because it's a 0.1 direct bonus to progress. It's not a, like, 10% bonus. That's good. So the male ruler died. The female heir took over because there was no male heir that could take over, apparently. And what ended up happening is because we had no heir at the time, by sheer coincidence of timing, right after we ended our War of France, the War of the Roses started. We were forced to pick a Lancaster or a York character to be our heir, which made them a designated successor. And then the War of the Roses instantly ended because it checks for legitimacy and if you have any kind of heir. So we just lost 50 stability for an event disaster that lasted 2 months. Except now, because he is a designated successor that is not an heir, that's not any of her children, we actually can't get an heir on the French throne at all. I tried everything that I could so far. He's from a completely different dynasty. He is not her son, so it doesn't count. And the only son she had, after being married from 16 onwards, the only son she had was out of wedlock with one of her cabinet ministers. So, now, granted, to be fair, she was married to the King of Sweden for some 16 years, and I think the reason why she wasn't having any children was because they were in 2 completely different countries the whole time. But basically, the only child she had can't be the ruler, so we're just doomed. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. I wish it would kind of happen to where it's just like, hey, shenanigans occur and we get it anyway, but a lot of that shenanigans in Russia was because of events. In this case, we just got really unlucky with when the War of the Roses happened. And then the fact that we just did not get any heir at all until it was just too late to turn it about. We are exploring towards the New World, though, so there's that at least. Could actually explore to the Brazilian Sea already. Just a little quicker than I expected. So this should have everything, right? Yeah, it's got a surplus of everything. It'll be fine. So yeah, we're probably going to lose France, which is unfortunate. But this has made France temporarily pacified to where we could just make Portugal a subject and now we can just bully Castile. And outside of, like, France, no one really cares. So the next parliament we have in a few years, we'll probably call it to just nuke Castile into the ground where we can. Let me shrink the markets. We have way too many in the list now. I can't read everything. Ah, there we go. See, we're getting further along here. We can start exploring into the Caribbean. I hope we're ahead of Castile. We probably are, considering we started doing it as fast as we could. But there's no guarantees. We're just kind of dumping our money into it at this point. I just want to be first. I don't have any plans to hold it. I just want to be first. Hey, there we go. At least our colonial maintenance is down and we can colonize faster. Even though the areas that we're colonizing in have malaria, so the pops here are very upset, I assure you. They don't like living here. They will continue to live there anyway. Nope, that's the wrong market. We can build more tool guilds, why not? We are converting tools into lumber, so building more tools makes sense. Because I think we're still importing lumber, aren't we? Not anymore, no. We're actually exporting some lumber. Not by a lot, but a small amount. That's good. It's very good. That's a good question. No, the Ottomans are actually still under Sunni. They have become the Sultanate of the Ottomans, which means... I believe that means their events has ended. Their special situation should be over, I believe. Yeah, legacy of the Ottomans, the Pashas, the Imperial Harem. Yeah, so it's definitely ended. They don't control Constantinople, though. It's actually Hungary that's been controlling it for a while now, which is kind of funny. They own a lot of the area around the City of the World's Desire, but they could just never take the city itself. It's also 1463, so we're technically past the historical timeline of when it fell, which would be in 1453. Try to steal some of their research from the papacy to get our technology going along here. Quest for the New World. But how do they know that there's a new world out there? They couldn't possibly know that. I was told that there's no land here and it's just a straight route to India. Oh, right, yeah, I totally forgot to reassign the new cabinet. The new head of cabinet. Probably should have done that a while ago. So that's going to help crown power at least a little bit. Because the lords have way too much. I need to revoke a privilege at some point, but until they have less power, I can't revoke it because it'll be very expensive. Okay, one more tick and then we can steal research from the papacy. Scotland, we've just kind of had a multiple series of wars. In each war, we've kind of just progressively taken more territory. The most recent one, we were able to take this kind of segment here when they tried to back a rebellion against us. But they have a lot of friends that like to guard them. Which is not as fun for us as it might sound. But, you know, we work with what we get. I really need to get another navy up here for more of the... Oh god, there's pirates up there. That's why it's so bad. Oh, we could build some more early Carracks. Why not? Just a couple at least, get it started. Iron is over 2 ducats in certain areas now. It's getting very expensive, which I am very happy about. Okay, that tech's done, so our explorations are going to go just a tad faster. It's still going to take time, thanks to all the distance being beyond naval range in certain areas. But it'll add a nice bit of speed to it. Canary Islands are almost 40% colonized, which is nice, especially considering Portugal's colonizing it. Man, Portugal's colonizing it at the same speed as we are. Although, I guess, yeah, they have a much higher maritime presence, don't they? Yeah. That does make sense. So they're able to just do it much faster. Need to get all these Portuguese patriots to stop revolting. Of course, the best way to do that is to just integrate it all. Which we're working on over time. That'll get us more control. Actually, it'll give us any amount of control to begin with. Let's see. Could build some... I guess we could build a couple breweries. I don't want to build too many. Because I think the price is just going to crash right away. But we have a lot of wheat up here, so we may as well build a bunch of them. We can sell it pretty easily. So we are actually meeting our demand. In fact, are we just getting, like, extra supply? Yeah, they're importing a bit of it. Although this will crash the price, I'm sure, and then we'll suffer for it, but oh well. And this Wat Tyler Rebellion is still trying to kick off after so many decades. It's still trying. I love how we had these two printer shops by event, even though we can't actually build them yet. Just really funny to me. .13 research progress. Yeah, I think at the rate we're going, we'll find the new world before anyone else does. Although I think we actually have to discover the landmass itself before that really fires off. Let's have you explore over there. London's starting to use some more of its trade capacity, but it's still not using a lot of it. And then Dublin's just running red as usual. In terms of balance budgets. Or the balance sheet, I should say. Yeah, promote the integration process, whatever helps. Just local assembly complaints, don't need that. We're a central council right now for 5 captain efficiency. Confederal Union does give you +10 loyalty of subjects, and given all the subjects we're creating, that's not a terrible idea, actually. Oh, wow. The Great Wu Dynasty is literally the hegemon of everything. Although we're kind of second place for some of it, so it's not as if we're that behind. It's just, they've really gone through with just unifying China. I mean, wow. They can raise almost 1 million men already. And we're barely into the Age of Discovery. We kind of conquered Portugal. They're actually a subject right now, so we're probably going to eventually annex them, and then their subjects become our subjects, so that should help mitigate any colonial wars. We're trying to cripple Castile now. Oh, shoot. I almost forgot. We were gonna make sure we ward Castile next on the next opportunity. Alba would be brought in. Oh, maybe we could actually annex them then or make them a subject. France will not join. Negative opinion. Oh, because they hate us, right? I didn't want you to join anyway. Aragon won't join. Aragon's already at war, doesn't want to join. That makes sense. Can I ally you, Aragon? For no reason in particular. Okay. Let's gather up the forces then. Which, of course, means I have to gather up the ships again and let our maritime presence start slipping. But you win some, you lose some. Actually, I am thinking we might want to build a few, even though we have terrible control over here, build a couple of towns just to get the other stuff built. That way we can have some maritime presence be sustained. It's not perfect, but, you know, something. Oh, right, they're not. I'm gonna say the ships aren't combined, that's why it's not working. So how many troops do you have? 50,000? It's a good amount of troops. Mainly levies, mind you, but still. Oh, they'll be fine without food. The worst that's gonna happen is they'll starve to death. Oh, we can grant them colonial authority for more colonial migration. I was thinking of just giving them the 5% production efficiency, but colonial migration is not a bad idea given what we're doing. It's better to boost the economy we currently have. Get that increased production efficiency so the buildings are just more pure profit. There, our tax base will go up a bit. And we'll kind of get ready for this war here. I don't want to move them in too deep because we are going to need to bring some actual raised levies, because they'll have too many levies for us to fight on our own. If we fight with only our raised forces, we'll take too many casualties. And we won't be able to sustain it in the long run. I think, when is the Brazilian Sea done? That's going to be in a couple more months. Ah, Brittany's building a city. Very nice. Keep the skeletons in the closet. Yeah, do that. Make the lords happier. That might make the lords insurgents finally give up. If they won't give up, but I can hope that they will. Even if nothing changes. Well, I'd really like to get the opinion approval with Portugal, but that's not available till 1502. And they're also really upset with us. Might be best to improve. There we go. England has discovered the new world. That's actually a good thumbnail. Potentially. Ah, I didn't know you actually gained stuff for finding. You gained 1,000 ducats. Why, thank you, game. I like free money for finding a small island full of gold. 20 prestige, 5 research progress. Hey, Brave New World. I actually didn't have that achievement, so there you go. We just earned an achievement for the stream. And then I can't do a colonial charter yet because we haven't actually found anything. But there's no reason why we couldn't start the colonial charters down here. It's just full of malaria and it'll kill everyone. If you can't tell, I hate malaria. Because right now we're colonizing out here, but the progress is hilariously slow. If I can just figure out which part we've been colonizing here. Because what's happening is people are migrating here. And I'll let it take to the next month to show you. But as they migrate here... Oh, no, it's just right here. As you see, 26 are migrating here, chat. And then 25 died of disease. So almost all of them just end up dead. So I kind of don't want to do colonization over here. Because, my god, they're just going to die. And we're going to be spending forever on it for no reason. It would be a lot more constructive for us to explore the new world. And in fact, the Amazon area... Look, funnily enough, it looks like the Amazon and like Colombia will be the first areas that actually get truly explored. Or at least start being explored. But they will take a long time given the naval range. And it will probably take us even longer to get some other areas scouted out. There are also various areas for Canada that we'd like to grab. That way, we can actually start colonizing it all. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Deleted from existence. Okay, so I do still have that dinner to plan with my parents that is soon. So we are going to wrap it up and end it here. I am glad that we won the 100 Years' War. Kind of sad we're going to lose France, but we're going to use it when we start the stream next time to just beat the hell out of Castile. Instead of going for their... I mean, restricting their naval access would be good, but what we will instead do is try to figure out some of their most valuable areas for their tax base. So probably this area right here. Maybe a bit of this southern area too. And just try to cripple Castile as much as we can, taking as much of their money. Make it to where they're not a threat, or at least a weaker threat before we lose France. So then we can just beat up France and Castile and annex them in whole. And the only other thing is that when we go for the new world, we're going to try to maintain direct control. I assume our control is actually going to be awful, and I'm going to just switch over to using subjects, and we'll just build it off based off that, because our control in Portugal, for example, is terrible. We have no proximity. What even is proximity over here? But hopefully with a couple of additional ships, maybe some good island chaining is what I'm hoping to do with at least one of the islands we have. We'll be able... Hi, doggo. We'll be able to finish that up and actually get control. Worst case, we just make profit off of the trade by sending exotic goods back to Europe, and we just use that for our money-making machines. With all that said, thank you all for coming. I hope you all had a wonderful time. And shout out again to King for being the first person to subscribe to the channel. Not subscribe, but to make the first membership to the channel. And I will see you all next time.